I've heard that from real live people with
real live people with
opinions.
real live mouths. All right then. Hi internet. We are back. My name is Todd. There it is. My name's Todd. We're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons. I've heard that people are doing that these days. Goodnight. Fantastic to hear that you've got some new books you can dig into. That's exciting. You actually have more books than I do right now. I don't yet have Tasha's. So, you know, I use it for roll 20 stuff. I think I have it there. I don't know. Anyway, we are here. We are live. We've got people on the internets jumping into our game. That's what we want. We spend plot points. You suggest spend some plot points, and we make it happen as best we can. So I'm going to be the DM, and we're going to go around the table. We're still missing a few more people, but once they jump in, we will jump in. Until then, the party is down in members. Sorry, I'll save that for later. Yes, new tongue. Sorry, rented lips. That's Robin Williams, the late great Robin Williams. All right, so you've heard enough about me. We're doing Dungeons and Dragons Descent into Avernus after establishing all of these fine folks in a homebrew, and then I took them to hell while COVID took the rest of us all there. All right, so let's go around the horn, and we'll meet some people, and we'll meet some characters, and then we will I'll probably murder them. The characters, not the people. Sorry,
I'd be
guys.
really impressed, honestly, if like we had characters that have been like have there been any deaths?
Yes.
Benkuhm was the most dramatic exit.
You died like a few episodes ago.
Oh well, yeah.
Okay,
Get your
I
head
guess.
twisted around, but it wasn't really a game
I
mechanic.
suppose that happens.
Bell
Technically,
was
when
just
an
checking
archdemon,
if you are like an owl.
snaps your neck and resurrects
Yeah.
you still died.
Apparently, you're not.
I guess. I don't know. It's debatable.
Anywho, so as you can tell, these people are in Avernus, and they've been playing for a while. This is our 52nd episode. I feel like we're approaching some big moments. So let's turn it over and meet the players. Other way. Hey, Gordon.
Hey, Gordon playing human shadow sorcerer Fenris, who is discovering a lot more about his past and is still somewhat conflicted on how he wants to approach both getting people out, saving people, both people he likes and not likes, maybe getting a bit of revenge, and this whole Wayfarer deal that he's finding is in his bloodline. So he is, and he's also a bit confused about not killing a certain Arrhenius, who's now sharing a magic school bus with him.
Yeah, that's you made a deal with her that if she got your friend back,
She
that
actually
you would let her live.
delivered and not tried to betray us. Like,
Well,
I was
That
kinda
we know
hoping
of.
you would.
That
I
you
was
know
kinda
of.
hoping she would.
you're just ready. What's that? Good night. Correct me if I'm wrong. You were just new to the scenario last week. That particular one, yes. But they've been in Avernus for a while. Pulled in, found the floating city of Elturel hovering above the Styx. The people there panicked and under duress as demons and devils both attempt to claim the city in this eternal war. So against that backdrop, we also meet Henrietta. Other way, Henrietta.
Hi.
Darcy.
I'm Darcy. You can find me at twitch.tv/DarcyBits. I am playing Henrietta. Since last session, like right after last Thursday's session, I continued to play like RPGs every day for like 5 days. It was nuts. I was burnt out, but it was good. you can watch some of that on Greg Hansen's VODs, because I was on Land Beyond the Mists on Friday.
I actually did catch a little bit of that in the VOD. It was fun. I saw your character intros, and it was good. And B was chiming in. It was great.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I didn't stick around. Did you die?
I did not die. None of us died. We did a great job. I did get knocked out once by a stampede.
Well,
it was like a single roll, like, can you get out of the way of the stampede? You didn't? Okay, cool, take damage.
Yep.
I just got knocked out.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
for this, I'm playing Henrietta. She's exhausted. Like, she just doesn't.
This is where character meets player.
It's a lot to. Yeah, I don't know. She's not sure what to do right now. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. So she, for those who are character and class minded, she is a paladin and a bard, and kind of a long member of El Terrell, kind of that family line kind of thing, but not a fan of where things went, as it was corrupted by an unknown influence, now known. The Eye of Pellar, as we called it, is the archdevil, Zariel. As you found out, you can watch the clip on that. Finally found out the name, one of those things that was prophesied to you that would be important should you ever go up against Zariel. And you found that out in the dreamscape. So, having done that, a pacifist paladin in hell, been having a bit of a rough go. And you've made deals, you've let things live. Fenris and Darmita have definitely murdered stuff left, right, and center. So it's an interesting ride. That brings us round to Darmita.
Hey, I'm Darmita, and I am a fallen Aasimar Gloomstalker Ranger, who has just finally got her best friend back. So we'll see how this week goes now that she has Benkuhm back by her side.
Benkuhm's back, and they're gonna be in trouble. All right, I think that was actually an episode title name. Just let's talk briefly about the players who aren't here, who are still technically part of this. Benkuhm, you mentioned. Oop, camera's all messed up. But Benkuhm is a Goliath barbarian, no longer dead or missing, and so he is back. You managed to pull him out of the kind of an oubliette type, called the Fortress of Oblivion, where he was being tortured for weeks. You managed to pull him free with the assistance of the aforementioned Arrhenius Sarnia, who... Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Todd. I don't mean to interrupt, but Trent's trying to get in. I tried to invite him, but it says he's locked out.
What?
So maybe you need to invite him.
I need to get that fixed. So give me 1 second here, people. We're gonna be right back.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. We can go and somebody can talk about Carl's character, who will also be joining us.
Carl's character is Falurie, who is a Aarakocra monk. She trained in a monastery that does something, probably. I don't really know what it is. They're assassins and stuff, though. I know that much. And, she has been following the trail of the aforementioned Arrhenius Sarnia, due to a murder and artifact stolen, which I guess we now have that artifact. I don't remember if we actually figured out what it does or not, but we do have it. At least Falurie does.
Falurie picked up a massive, slightly too large longbow that it almost looks like golden leaves, like almost laurel leaves, in a very curved longbow kind of look, and it is highly magical. And that's about as far as you know, and she hasn't put it down yet. All right, and we're
like
welcoming.
the kind of bow that it would be in the real world, like bows designed for use on horseback exclusively. Like that's the kind of size we're looking at.
It seems to be made. I mean, it's usable from the ground, but it's for a very tall person to begin with. Either if someone was using it from the air, it would present no problem.
Right. Like in setting, I'm sure it's designed for people to use it while flying because they're Aarakocra. But
It's just a little more ornate and a little bigger than what you would expect. All right.
Sure. Okay.
And Falurie has been holding on to that lately. And joining us, sorry about the delay in getting you into the game. Hey, man, it's Trent. So tell us a little bit about Benkuhm. We're just doing the intro.
Hey. I am a Goliath barbarian. I'm level 13. Level
13. Yep, 13.
We've been heavily tempted by some of the fates of hell. Recently broken out of a prison and here to close out this circle of circumstances that started the initial journey of the party and maybe see it to the end. However, that worked out.
Fantastic. Well, we're really happy to have you back, and that last game was pretty epic, so thank you for joining us. I was very pleased about that. And it's always nice to have people back at the table. All right, that brings us up to speed. So if you have any other questions, well, you're going to have to watch on the YouTubes or listen to it on podcast stuff. Anyway, we're going to dive into the depths of hell. Let's go. I'd love like super cheesy, happy music right now, but we're going to get dramatic. The hellscape stretches on in all directions around you. A dusty, orange-reddish plain pocked with fire tornadoes and an ever-churning sky lit from behind by flames. Rivers of molten lava, rivers of puddles and lakes of bubbling black ichor. And of course, the ever-present flow of the blood-red river of the Styx. Ever-changing course, always threatening, always near. The Styx is unpredictable. It is oblivion and torture, but never death. So, you find yourselves rocking back and forth as Fenris has been just burning the soul oil, as it were, the soul coins, just tearing across the plains of Avernus, away from the Fortress of Oblivion. You are a little surprised you've managed what would be impossible. Pulling a prisoner out of the depths of the torture chambers of hell. Benkuhm rocking back and forth in the back, for a while staring at a sack in his hand, his precious possessions, puts a few things back on, readies himself. He stretches out his hand, tosses the rest of the sack out. Darmita taking a rest, curling up. No, Darmita driving.
I was driving.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I was driving.
the rest of you just taking stock. You turn, and the Irenaeus, the devil, who's gotten into the back of the infernal machine with you turns to you, and over the din of the tires and the scream of the motor, she calls out, "All right. I've lived up to my end. What are your intentions, golden eyes?" "I would warn you, those who break a devil pact pay a terrible price."
Sure. Be honest, I was expecting you to betray us. It would have made things more clean and simple in some ways. But you did live up to your end of the bargain with me.
I'm hurt.
All right, then. You've delivered Benkuhm, true to your word. You're free to go.
As she smiles, there's a sudden lurch and a loud sound as one of the tires just and the whatever was similar to rubber, steel, bits of bone all go flying as it disintegrates, and you're dragging the back right axle. Thank you for the plot point, Kudenai. The whole machine veers heavily to the right. Darmita, I need you to do a dexterity save. You can do it with proficiency, because you drive the bus.
Okie dokie.
You are proficient in bus.
I'm proficient in bus. That's good to know. So, it'll be an additional 5 on top of this.
Awesome.
Wait. I already have proficiency in my dex saves.
Yep.
I have double proficiency, so.
And how'd you do? Oh, I gotta turn on that other cam. I got double dice cam now. Ooh, 13. All right, you managed to keep from rolling the whole bus, but it lurches heavily off to the right, goes off of the path you had planned, and into some rough terrain. The front wheels start to snag, and all of a sudden the whole thing just lurches to a stop as it smacks into a boulder. The front end crunching up a little bit. Not enough to shatter, but all of you now need to do a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Whew.
Sorry, dex
Could have used that one last time.
All right. So,
Oh, yeah,
Benkuhm.
uh-huh.
Benkuhm got a 10 plus 4 because he's close enough to Henrietta, the Paladin. So that's 14. You go slamming into the dividing wall between the driver's side and the kind of cargo area. You slam into it. It's part dump truck, part bus. They have AAA in hell, right? Nice, yeah. You go slamming into it. You're gonna take only 2 points of damage there, Benkuhm. Meanwhile, yep.
Just quick question. Since Henrietta's in the magic school bus, wouldn't the magic school bus have gotten 4?
That's true. So it would have been 17. So,
was it a save or was this?
It was technically a skill check. It wasn't a save.
Yeah. So yeah.
Strictly speaking.
Oh, I thought it was
same value.
No.
Sorry, I thought it was a save.
No, it's a save. That's okay. It's basically the same math. So Benkuhm didn't quite pass. Darmita, you're holding onto the wheel and you see it coming, so you brace yourself with your 24. You get a bit of a gut punch from the wheel, but you're okay. Fenris, even though he's been resting and just laying down in the back and just kind of looking up and chatting with the Arrhenius, who also needs to save.
Oh, he's very much on edge, obviously. Like, he's not letting his guard down.
Yeah, Fenris just literally just scratches along the bottom, just dragging his hands along and just like, and his feet hit the wall, but doesn't take any damage with a 21. Henrietta, you're okay as well. You get tossed around, but you're tough and your plate you don't take any damage. And the Arrhenius, having just been looking at Fenris and saying, "Good. Well then, I guess and she goes into the wall right above Benkuhm, taking
Okay, yeah, she's still on the thing. She's
8
falling.
points of damage. Point of order. No, you had a night's rest.
had
She's
8.
okay.
Yeah, she had a night's rest.
If that was the thing that had destroyed Sarnia, that would have been amazing. But unfortunately, she is.
Yeah, we did. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So she's healed up as well as you have. So, she's okay. As she's tossed against the wall and bounces, it is funny. So she's picks herself back up again. Her nose kind of bleeding from what's on. She's just like, laugh it up. I'm free to go? Then you're on your own. And good luck
If
to
I
you.
recall correctly, you were asking us for assistance as well? Something about actually resolving this thing, not just pointless war.
If it's a ridiculous idea, whispered about and dismissed, but a wayfarer caused this war with the help, well, the Celestials, your patron, caused this bloody war with the help of a wayfarer not unlike him. They brought the Styx upon us and let it fester, and then tossed it into the abyss. So, the demons could find it. Now, if a wayfarer were to be found, there are some that think there may be a way to stop this eternal war.
Is this why you were so insistent on trying to capture me all this time?
Well, Zariel was not always a fan of mine, being so beholden to Bel as I was. But I earned her trust, their trust. That, and Sarnia points towards Falurie, who's been clutching this bow. That was my price of loyalty. Zariel did muse about ideas of ending this war, finding a wayfarer. But your kind are slippery and ill-fortuned. They have a bad habit of dying or being difficult to incentivize. Very rarely are they of the moral caliber required to help my kind. But you seem to have a certain flexibility that could prove very helpful. But you are not beholden to me. Think about it. Please take no offense, but I don't trust any of you. And she takes a good long look at Benkuhm and Falurie. So
I would hope me too.
Darmita. And Fenris. She looks like a robin cornered in a room full of cats. So,
Hi.
if you will think on it, this war does not have to continue forever. Not as it is. There may be a way. Think on this. And the next time we meet, perhaps there could be something. And now, if you don't mind, quick question, party. Carl's not here. Sarnia is his prey. Or internet. You know as well as I do that Falorie's whole point in being in hell.
The movie, right, is like we'd see this like point of conflict on Falorie's face, and then she would be like absent from scenes, but in such a way that you're not sure if she's just been cut out of them or if she's actually had left, like off screen during like a time skip. That's the way I think it would be done in a movie.
Fair enough.
And it's like, did she like fly off after Sarnia when we released her, or
and then when like makes sense.
Yeah.
And
Falurie,
then when Carl comes in, it's like Falurie flies back. Joins us.
Yeah.
Falorie's
maybe
been rather
didn't, right?
distracted as well,
inside, right?
holding this artifact of her people's. She's been staring at it and a little more quiet than normal. She's already fairly quiet. So she seems to have been going through some stuff. And in this moment, looking at you all, Sarnia looks at Falurie last with a confident smile.
Yeah.
Perhaps next time, feathered one. And with that, unless someone wants to do something, Sarnia spreads her wings and leaps up past the kind of tarped roof of this back of this dump truck bus and flaps up into the fetid sky of Avernus.
Benkuhm says, when you live in a place like this, it makes your voice deeper. And it makes you feel like if you think really hard, things can happen. And he looks up after Sarnia and just thinks about flying up to catch her, but then tries not to show it to the party, and then turns back and joins the party. And then looks around because we had just seen, our car has just broken down, and we had just seen a dragon rider going around in a slow,
very far distance,
like miles away, but
Yeah.
will eventually intercept us in the next day or so.
Possibly.
Yeah, we gotta
So
deal
go
with
ahead and
that.
do a perception check, Benkuhm, with advantage if somebody wants to help.
Oh, I would definitely be helping him.
Meanwhile,
because I'm pretty
Get out and
certain
fix that
we're
wheel, I guess.
SOL.
all right, Henrietta jumps back and starts inspecting the wheel. Do an investigation check, Henrietta. Benkuhm or Darmita, do a perception check, or Bo. Whoa, that's a lot.
I have a lot of skills, but I do not have investigation.
Okay.
All right.
So Benkuhm, you rolled a 19, so yeah, you get a good look at that horizon, and although the clouds are strained and there are these strange little like fire and lightning bolts in the distance, and you see roiling flames amongst the clouds occasionally, you see no sign of the winged Dracolic or Lich.
See no sign of the winged Dracolic, or is it Lich? What is the
Internet.
proper pronunciation?
Internet, what's the proper pronunciation for Dracolic or Dracolich? Anyway, while they're debating about that, how is your investigation? Oh, 17. All right. I'm afraid over chat, I don't know how helpful this is going to be. I see CH, I see Lich, like church, lich, Yeah, I guess you don't say chirk.
You also
Shotgun
don't say
chirk.
Kirk. It's
Uh,
got it twice.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Kirk.
I've
Actually,
always
they
said
used to say
Dracolich,
Kirk.
but
I mean, it'd be weird to pronounce it any other way.
Actually,
unless
there
you
are
want to
places
pronounce
where it's
from
called
Blake.
Kirk. That's a thing. Anyway.
To be fair, I have a -1 intelligence, so this
Yeah.
is merely a learning curve.
All right. So anyway, Henrietta, with a 17, you see that the wheel, it had just hit, it's hard to tell exactly what tore into it, but it doesn't appear to have been broken by, it was busted by fate. It was broken by Kudnai. But anyway, so it must have hit something or been on the edge of disrepair
What's
anyway.
the problem here, right? Did like the wheel like break in a way that needs to be replaced, or did it, like get dislodged and just needs to be put back on?
It needs to be replaced. Now, you can look around and try to find something that might do. You might be able to piece some of the pieces back together. I don't know. What do you want to do?
Help whatever you need, Henrietta.
Spare wheel.
I'm gonna try to see.
Fenris,
we've had-
investigation check for spare wheel.
We've had a problem before with
Mhm.
our wheel, so and I did pretty good last time piecemealing it, so I'm gonna try that again.
Sure thing. We're gonna get you to do. Ugh, that's a weird one. I'm going to guess survival check.
Sure. Or it could be
I'm-
like, you know,
I'm good with that.
It
Okay,
is
probably
favored
good check.
terrain,
It's
so you can look
using
around.
the thing. I don't know. I have a question for you, Todd.
Yeah, what's up?
The Wandering Bazaar, does it literally show up in places?
It does.
Or is it like
Oh.
there's just like different ways of getting there? Because I kind of want to like plot point that the bazaar is here. Or
All
like,
right.
nearby. That sounds like a fun.
I'll accept that. Go ahead and spend the
Oh.
plot points. And
I mean,
then
you just get to the
Yeah.
natural.
You may
play.
not need to.
Yeah. I
Oh
know.
my God.
That's what I was
So-
gonna do.
Dreaming of the bazaar.
So Benkuhm and Darmita go piling around. Fenris is kind of tearing through the back, looking underneath, looking for any spare parts. You find a bunch of random materials that were probably tossed in there by one of the Kenku under the watch of MadMaggie. But unfortunately, Fenris, you don't find anything that's going to be too useful in the bus. Darmita and Benkuhm kind of look around for a while, and then you're kind of near a ridge at this point. And it goes up, and you see these massive spiked bones, almost like an ancient rib cage that's sprayed open and burst open and dried and stuck to the sky, but buried after years of dust and silt and ash. And so the hill in front of you it's almost like a small foothill going up to one of these massive rib bones. And you can see a line of them kind of about every half kilometer or so along. So whatever this was ridiculously massive. And the rib bones themselves extend a good 75 feet into the air. After kind of getting up even with the crest of where this dust and it's made a bit of a foothill around the base, you look out over the plains just trying to get your bearings and find something, and you look beyond and you smile. As below you hear music. You hear laughter. You look out beyond Benkuhm. Darmita's looking the other way down towards the bus, and you're looking behind down into this small valley. And below, kind of nestled in what would be the center of this ribcage, you see infernal machines, but very strange ones, unlike what isn't that bizarre? You see infernal machines, but with massive canvases stretched between them, all ringed around in a kind of a caravan kind of collected into this large camp below. It's probably about maybe about 500 feet away, maybe a bit more, down nestled in this small valley. And you can hear music and laughter. Now you hear infernal voices for the most part, but you can see that this is a very strange sight in the middle of hell. You have stumbled upon the Wandering Emporium.
Hey, there's people down there.
Well, we kind of have things to do, and not go hang out with people is one of them.
We need to keep going, but seems like that's the next way.
It's up to you.
By the way,
Yeah, go ahead.
oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna just ask what you were gonna say. Pretty sure.
I was just gonna say while I was looking, I kind of reach over and touch Benkuhm's arm, and he heals for another 13.
I will need that for the Drake flick.
That's a thing.
Healing hands.
0 level. Cool.
Darmita,
Aasimar thing. Wow.
you've healed people with your healing hands, your Aasimar background. But you're fallen, and it's always felt a little off, filled with almost heat from your blood. But this, compared to the heat of hell, feels cool and calming as you grab your friend's just kind of the back of his tricep, and you're not even seeing what's going on around. You're seeing your friend, and he's looking around, and you dump healing hands into him, and there's this quiet wind that you get the impression only you can hear, blowing past you for a second. Can you roll a d6 for me?
Well, my last d6 was a crap shit. I rolled it for the. Now I finally get a 6. I needed that earlier on my commune. And I got a 1.
You take a deep breath, and there's something calming about this presence, and you lean into it, and suddenly, off in the distance, it's almost like your mind travels on this wind and touches with another mind. Your mother. Somewhere out on the plain of Avernus. A 6 is what you needed. Or a 5.
It was a second chance.
Now, you only know that it's ready. You don't actually have to activate it right now. But on the wind, you hear it whisper.
My darling, I'm sorry I could not always be with you. But I will try to be here. Now. Now. Now.
And then it's gone. Until you know how to reach her now with your commune. Alright, the rest of you, it doesn't seem like anything's gonna fix this magic school bus back down with the infernal machine. Unless you can either find a way to fix it or you're gonna have to hoof it. It's up to you.
So the nat 30 or the nat 20 didn't help?
The bazaar.
That's the bazaar. That and the plot point.
So
Okay. I thought the nat 20 was for
I either
parts.
spent the plot point or it's the nat 20. It's probably one or the other, right?
Well, I was just kind of saying that was like you looking around for things like maybe you could find a piece of wood or something that might fashion a replacement wheel for now, or repair the pieces of your wood of the
Right.
of the wheel. I'll give you this: you do find the broken segments of this wheel, which were mostly iron and straps of wood and banded iron around the outside. So you probably have enough, and you're kind of giving them to Benkuhm as you climb the hill. You probably have enough pieces that it could be repaired, but do you have means to
Cool.
repair it?
Can I start moving? Like I think Benkuhm will probably just start putting the car in neutral and then just start rolling it towards the bazaar.
If that's what you want to do as a party, sure.
Alright, I mean, if we're stuck here, might be something there we can do. Honestly, if we can find a different form of transport, that'd be great. I've never liked this thing.
Oh,
Or maybe they have a wheel.
That's it.
Fenris, do
Yeah.
you think that you can manage to get us something faster?
Yeah. I think that we can either get a faster vehicle or a replacement wheel. And then, so what?
I think we need a faster and different vehicle. I know what we were driving.
all right. So, Benkuhm, just curious, how many
It's
hit
time to
points do you
boost
have
a
anyway?
new vehicle.
Woohoo!
I like
It's
it.
Grand Theft Auto Avernus style.
That's right.
How many hit points do you have, Benkuhm?
I currently have 88 hit points.
And just out of curiosity, does your character know any instruments as your proficiencies?
I do not know any instruments.
Okay, that's probably good, because one of the things that happened was in your weeks of torture, I mean, you were dismembered in all kinds of terrible ways and resurrected.
Thank
But the
you
most
for
recent
reminding me.
one of the morning, before your friends arrived, as they were busy, there was an imp that just came by for a little snack, and it was busy gnawing off your kind of left ring finger, one bite at a time, just right at the knuckle. And then it would come back a few minutes later and be like, and you would scream at it, and it would bite off the next knuckle, and so on. So you got a bloody hand with one missing finger, but other than that, it's closed over, and with Darmita's help, it's not bothering you anymore.
Thanks.
Just for flavor. All right,
Appreciate it.
So I guess it's appropriate that I drag you all to a brand new map. It's been a little while, so let's drag you over. I did not expect this, thanks, Darcy, but fortunately, I happen to have things prepared. So this map, by the way, is from Pog's map. I got it on Patreon, so give that guy some lovin'.
There's
And
no official Avernus map for this. Wow, I'm surprised.
Yeah,
I guess it's not
I know.
like a battle map location according
No.
to the book, so that makes sense.
yeah, but I love having the visuals, so we are gonna pull that up. Let me just grab all of y'all, and I'll just send you to the correct map here. Sorry, I know it makes for exciting listening, but we will be right with you in a moment. Here we are. Paste.
Ooh, hello.
All right, so Benkuhm is like doing most of the lifting as Henrietta's kind of shoving, and Fenris is
Sure.
kind of up on the top steering, and Falurie is kind of scouting.
Or maybe not, who knows?
As you kind of drag yourselves towards this strange collection of tents and infernal machines with these massive, like almost like cow catchers, like on trains, but incredibly huge. There's all these weird, like tracked ones, almost like the Jawa vehicle in Star Wars. There's bulbous kind of rooms half festooned onto the sides of these things, and around they've kind of circled them around, and in the middle you see colorful tents stretching out across the center section of the plain, and you also see well, let me show our viewers. It's right here. You also see you can see lantern light kind of lighting the dim areas. You see various creatures and beings, humanoid and non. You see a fiery salamander go walking by from one tent to the next, carrying a basket of some kind with something that looks like it's slithering ever so slightly. Something onto the ground as he walks by, and this strange kind of larval thing goes and digs into the dirt, and it turns around and swears an infernal, goes marching off. In the middle, in the only main opening between these ringed vehicles, you see this massive pole held up by these stanchion-like ropes driven into with infernal iron spikes into the ground, and you see a sign and written on it in this strange language. But then you look at it for a few seconds, and the language resolves into one that you can read. And so some of you're seeing it in Giant, others in Infernal, others in Common. And the lettering gold lettering emblazed on a red banner. You see the words, Wandering Emporium. What do you want to do?
Oh, have any of you heard of this? Have I heard of this? I don't remember if I have or not. Just like in continuity of the game, I mean.
I
don't think it's come up since I've
The Veiled one mentioned it to us.
The Veiled one?
And also Felice.
Yeah, Felice knew something about it.
Benkuhm, when we were separated and Lulu teleported us out, right before then, Felice had mentioned about finding her at this emporium. So she actually may be here.
Ah, good news.
So I'm going to, let's see if we can maybe find a different vehicle, but there may be a means to connect with Felice as well. She said something about Mahadi person who she's dealt with.
So you guys say this as you're walking up, and you're kind of nearing that large sign. And Benkuhm, go ahead. Actually, between you and Henrietta, you've been managing to move this infernal machine reasonably well, with a bit of help from the others. As you approach, you can see the bustle, and this is the first time you've... At first you're like, what was that? And then you realize it's some weird infernal creature. You see imps crawling around all over the place. You see a bearded devil leaning against a machine just off to your left. His beard kind of braided, and he's got a couple of gemstones in his ears, and down there he's like, he's talking away in infernal to another guy. To an imp nearby, and at some point the imp kind of spits on him. He takes a swat at it, but it's that jovial kind of, he's not trying to murder him kind of way, although he would definitely like to hurt him. As you move further in, you see a cadre of redcaps, these strange fey infernal creatures, twisted redcaps and madcaps, just swarming over blankets and tables, and it's got this purple cover of just to keep off some of the oppressive heat. And the redcap is busy slapping some of the madcaps, and they're trying to take things off the table and rearrange them, and he's yelling at them, and no, that one goes there, this one goes there. You see several other... You see a few humans walking around. There's this one red-hooded, kind of cleric-looking being, kind of wandering past what appears to be a central tent. As you kind of round a corner, you can see... I'm sorry, I'm dragging a rock, apparently, because I need a light source. There we go. Yeah. So as you kind of come around a corner, there's an imp at one of the tents, and he's closest to you and looks at you all and says,
welcome to the Emporium. How may I help you?
Is that an infernal?
It is.
Cool.
You just keep on walking.
No, I would say a couple things. We're looking at maybe trading a vehicle. Or repairing ours.
You have your own.
And you look back, and you can see where you kind of dropped it at the entrance. You can already see a handful of redcaps and imps go scurrying out towards it, as if to claim it for their own.
Sorry. If I understand it, are they jumping on our old vehicle, or are they jumping on this potentially cool new vehicle?
Well, at the moment, you don't see any, except the massive infernal machines that are kind of set up as camping structures. You don't see any others at the moment, but on your machine, there's already 3 redcaps kind of crawling up on it and pulling off. Falurie goes running back and shouting at them and just leaps up and just flies over them, and this massive turd just hits one of the red caps. Well, hold on. I'll roll for it. Ooh, not great. Actually, just misses a red cap, and it's like... And then Falurie lands and scatters them, and they go scurrying away. Falurie turns back, crossed-armed, bow slung over the shoulder, and says, "I'll watch it."
Sorry.
That's how we get rid of a character whose player isn't here. Booyah.
Good message,
Nice.
Alpin. Correct
I'll
me
turn
up.
back to the imp and say, all
Ooh,
right.
that's true. Count for splatter. Grenade splatter. 1, 2, 3. Oh, some got on one of the red caps. It's like, it kind of pulls on its hat, which is just, it almost covers most of its head with these little tiny holes cut out for the eyes. And it's got a little splatter of Aarakocra droppings on it. And it hisses at him and then starts sucking on the end of the red cap. And the other one smacks it and takes a little suck of itself, and they start fighting over the end of his poop cap. The imp looks back at you and says,
Oh, yes, well, you're going to need to talk to, well, of course, there's Mahadi.
This is the imp talking to you now in the entry tent.
Mahadi, that sounds familiar. Who is
But
this person?
you're welcome to stay.
Do I know who this person is?
Mahadi?
Like-
You've heard
Yeah.
the name. You know that Felice mentioned she knew someone who came to hell named Mahadi, and she used to trade with him. Actually, sorry, roll an intelligence check to see if you remember all that.
Actually, would that be my survival? Because
There
is
you go.
Mahadi a fiend?
Yep, there you go. There's the nat 20. So Mahadi... Okay, here's the thing. You know about Mahadi because he has been documented and rumored. He often passes himself off as a confident, charismatic trader who goes to the material plane on the regular basis. But he's also known here as Mahadi, the Rakshasa. And he is a Rakshasa, tiger-like fiend with inverted hands
Great.
or paws. But he is, he does have a certain honor amongst thieves, is what is rumored to be. And that is your nat 20.
Okay. I will.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'll ask what direction Mahadi is in, and I'll kind of look at Fenris and just give him kind of a nod, like,
All right.
you know,
Yeah.
we know what we're doing.
All right. So,
Fair.
so
We got
the imp
this.
looks up at Fenris and you all and says,
Mahadi wanders the bazaar. You can ask there.
and it points along to. I'm sorry, I did not read up on this because I wasn't sure if you guys were gonna go here anytime soon. And he points up to the kind of the biggest of the infernal machines at the far end. And there's this massive, beautiful, gold emblazoned tent. Here, I'll see if I can. Here, I'll move that rock. I don't know if you'll be able to see that far, but I'll move that glowing rock. There's plenty of light sources around here, and you can see it. Oh, maybe it's not glowing.
It's not going through my vision.
Boo.
Me. I'm glowing.
There you go. So
There
way
you
at
go.
the far end, there's in what would be the center of the ring, on the opposite side of the entrance, you see this massive, almost velvet, massive tent with gold emblazed lettering and runes on the top, and inside you can smell, even from here, you can smell these sweet smells of cooking food. You can hear laughter. You can hear the clink of glasses. And it looks, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a portable inn. built into the side of the largest of these infernal machines. These massive ballistae up on the top guarding it. But into the side, it's almost like this incredibly lavish inn has been kind of unfolded out of the side of this infernal machine. And the imp looks at you and says,
Welcome. You may inquire at the infernal rapture.
I'm gonna whisper on the way to, like, while we're on our way walking over there,
Mhm.
I'll kind of whisper to Fenris to mention Felice. The Tundra, you say it. I don't know.
That was
The
a
long
very
ass-
good memory. It's Yadatonder. Yeah.
yeah. And that is for the listeners and viewers who it's been a while. That was Darcy's character before we took up Henrietta
Went to hell.
again. Well, she went to hell with you, but not for long.
Yeah.
So
She
as you're
didn't stay
walking
in hell.
through, you see
Oh,
these
she did. It's
all
here.
manner of creatures.
It's not
You
with
see,
us.
you see a bone devil busy arguing over the price of something in a sack with a Cambion who's just sitting there. Look, it's a fair deal. And you see a what looks like a human just kind of keeping to their own, hood up, just kind of looks at you. And he's almost more skittish around seeing you guys, especially those who look more humanoid than the devils around. There's a Cambion he's been talking to. You see this large, fiery salamander go slushing by, leaving this little trail of sparks and little teeny beads of glass behind as they slither past, and a magmum kind of carrying a few things with them. And you approach the infernal rapture. On each side of this entrance, you see a few things. You see a human standing there amongst the rest. You see what looked like beautiful humans, bare tops, but with large red wings, and their very presence seems to almost have this vertigo effect when you look at them. 2 incubi, standing at the entrance, calling out to random fiends and devils and people going by, inviting them in. There's also a succubus a little bit further in, standing there wearing something that would make almost anyone blush, just standing there waiting and smiling as you approach. Fenris, as you get a bit closer, you take all this in, and it's this, after being in the sensory deprivation that is hell in Avernus, all of the smells and sights, it's almost intoxicating. In all of you are feeling that that overwhelming, whoa, this was a desert. And now it's Vegas. Like in the middle of the desert. As you're taking it in, this strange feeling on the right of your leg, you look down and you see what looks like a cat just brushing up against your leg, Fenris. Kind of looks up at you. It blinks and you lock eyes with it in its eyes for a second, and it goes walking away, and then there was something strange about it. The back of it kind of had this lumps, and it takes you a second to realize it's wings. And the wings unfurl, and it starts flying up, and one of the nearby kind of bouncer-looking humanoids, it looks like a rough and tough human, kind of swats at it, and it hisses, and goes up and perches up on top of a beam that's supporting the tent, and it kind of looks around, taking it all in, and locks eyes with you again, and blinks, and looks away. Where do you want to go? There's lots of strange tents and shopping and all kinds of stuff. So, and there's the Infernal Rapture main inn as well.
Gonna go into the Infernal Rapture main inn.
All right. So you guys enter in underneath this kind of entry tent, and for a few seconds, you're just taking in these smells. You smell beautiful foreign dishes on like things of strange, never before smelled spices. But you also, pardon me, you also smell these familiar things. You get a whiff of apple pie. You get like a really spicy curry just wafting on the air, and your mouth is just like, oh, you've been chewing on good berries this whole time. Like, that's all you've sustained yourself on. And just dusty throats, and after a few seconds, this absolutely gorgeous blonde succubus turns, and she looks a little bit younger than you are, but maybe not. It's hard to tell her age exactly. And she turns around and she looks up, and she's about a couple inches shorter than you, and she looks at you and smiles. Why, hello. Welcome to the Infernal Rapture. Can I help you?
We're looking for Mahadi.
Ah, yes. One moment. And she turns around, and she takes out this little silver bell out of a kind of almost like a maitre d' desk. Gives a little ring. A few seconds later, the entry curtains that are ahead part, and out walks this confident, kind of draped in this beautiful cape, fine clothing, beautiful patterns of cloth, and he's carrying a scimitar in one hand. He's got this cloth wrapped around this long, kind of graying beard, and this winning smile in human form. He walks forward. Yes. Ah, hello. You rang. Yes, we've got mortals here to see you. Ah. What can Mahadi do for you? Welcome to the Infernal Rapture. What can I help you with? You're a long way from home.
Indeed we are. We're looking for someone that might have come here who knows you. And we're also looking at maybe trading our vehicles for a faster one. But the first thing, has someone named Felice come by?
Someone who knows me. Well, that's everyone here. And they all turn, just for a second. Everybody kind of within earshot, and a few people without earshot kind of turn, and almost like a Norm moment from Cheers. They're like, Mahadi! And you kind of hear it, and he's, see, I am known, but I know many people. Felice, you say?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, it's a big camp, but I'll put the word out, and we'll see if we can find your friend. In the meantime, you say you've got a machine.
Yeah. Our infernal machine needs a bit of repairs, or maybe we're thinking of trading it.
Well, you've come to the right place, my friend. We can repair, we can replace, we can furnish you with a new one. We can do almost anything you need here. Probably one of the few places in the Hells that could help you. Not to be crass, but we run a business here. And please take no offense, but most mortals who end up here aren't prepared to, well, let's just say, financing can be arranged.
I pull a purse from underneath my loincloth.
Oh, God!
100 gold in it.
Yes.
Throw it
Gold.
on a table away. I just throw it generally at this guy because he's like, gold. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this?
So you go to chuck it to him, and he kind of waves as it's starting to go towards him. He doesn't move to catch it, but he kind of waves a finger, and this ethereal hand just goes and catches it in midair. A mage hand of his, and it kind of goes. It does one of these. Ah, yes, gold does have its uses, but it doesn't go as far here as it might. Well, where are you from? We get travelers from all over. Are you from?
The Prime.
Ah, yes. But which prime material plane? I've traveled to most of them. Faerun? You're not where those Kenders are. Are you? He kind of takes a look at you all.
Nah.
Exandria.
Ah! A wonderful realm. Been there many times. Yes, well, I
I
think...
lift up, I kind of reach into my pouch and I pull out, I've got actually 3 soul coins.
Mhm.
I just go, ching.
And you hold that up, and his smile widens. Ah, now we're talking. An exchange rate can be arranged for this. But what you hold there, sir, now that is the coin of the realm. There is, of course, barter as well if you need. So, come. If you wish to stay, I must say, we have meals, we have spa services. You can...
We can't stay long. We're
I see.
in
Well,
We're in
certainly.
a hurry.
All right, then. Well, let me direct you to, I think Resh, Skids, and Slog would probably make short work of any repairs you might have. But they could also perhaps, we'll see what machines they might have access to. And he points over to the side. You can just see through the pillars of this tent, directly due east, pretty much from where you are, over near another large infernal machine. You see the 2 salamanders you saw before, kind of engaged in conversation. These little magma people running around near them, kind of doing their bidding. A lemur leans across, and they're busy. And you can see kind of bits and pieces of what would make infernal machines kind of scattered around underneath this purple tent off to this side. And it's like, yes, you just tell them that Mahadi sent you, and they'll give you a good price. Well, be sure to come back, even if you can't stay long. It's terrible. Avernus is a difficult place to find hospitality, so if you want a meal or any other services, the succubus winks at Fenris. Then you come on back.
Maybe next time. And then like let's start walking towards where he pointed.
All right. So you guys.
Fenris,
Go ahead.
I really think we need to see if we can barter for a trade-in of this machine, and we need a faster machine. See if you can make that happen.
See what I can do.
Henrietta.
Because Darmita knows she's not the talker. He
Yeah.
is.
That's fair.
So
While all this is
she's
going
not
on,
going to try.
Henrietta, Benkuhm, you see all of this, and what do you make of all this? I'm just curious.
This seems pretty normal, considering that they were willing to dismember and torture me for a while. So, these guys are pretty cool in comparison. I don't know. I think if anything, I probably just lean towards like making sure Fenris, because Fenris is still kind of sucks a little bit. So we've got to defend him.
Fair enough.
Otherwise, he might die.
So you're-
But if anything, I'm kind of I think Benkuhm is kind of on a Henrietta kick because of like the way that the character is structured with like the pacifism, but then also like kind of we got out of the situation yesterday with a bit of pacifism too. So he's like obviously not going to give up fighting, but I think he's like maybe there are gods that like care about stuff. So he's kind of like following Henrietta, I guess. Not
You
like
went to hell to
following,
find
but
your faith. Interesting.
in a
What
weird
about you,
way,
Henrietta? You see all manner of vices and sins. You can see past Mahadi while he's talking into the inside of this inn a little
I
bit,
mean,
and it is
I guess I do,
lavish.
right? Like, yeah, you're right that the relaxation of hell would be extreme comparatively, but it's not soldiers killing and maiming and like,
I mean,
think
you're a
that's
bard
what
too.
is interesting from the perspective of Hen is like, this is seeing the soldier on their day off when they're not gonna just attack us on sight, and it's reaffirming to her, right? It's like everyone is acting like you can't talk to fiends. Obviously, we've done that a few times, but like it's been the exception, not the rule, right? And here we're walking by people, and they're going, "Yeah, I'm not gonna pick a fight. It's my day off. I'm not gonna fight you."
Now, it's funny you mentioned that because
of when I was fighting you, it was because it's a job. I'm a soldier, right? Yeah.
I see that plot point, Ben. Yeah, Ben, just now. He'll take Henrietta for solid payment. He needs a new shop assistant. Well, we'll see what Mahadi decides later. I'm sure he'd be happy to take any of them. But anyway, It's funny you mentioned not willing to fight, because most people around here, they're still aggressive, but they are not aggressive to the point of making this place not functionable. And anytime Mahadi is around, the aggression kind of tamps down. Like, you get the impression, you read people pretty well, and you get the impression that when he's around, people don't step out of line, because this is his place. But there's still, and actually, as you're walking towards the Salamander's tent, you see this incredibly massive, like, it's the size of a horned devil. And you can see these massive horns poking out from underneath this iron helm. And it's huge, but it doesn't have any wings. And it is just standing there. And he's arguing in Infernal with this Arcanoloth, another smaller type of devil. And at one point he loses his temper and he's like, and he just grabs this thing by the neck and just tosses it against the machine, and it yelps. It's kind of gnollish, and a couple of these human bandits come running over to back up their pal, and Mahadi kind of gives a look, and one of the incubuses goes walking over towards that, and the large one on the screen is named, you don't know this, but it's named, and it calls out the incubus as you're going by. It's like, bitter breath, listen. We can't have that. And it yells at him, just barks at him in this guttural, monstrous type sound, and goes storming off. Just past Henrietta, as you guys are walking by, and does the shoulder chuck thing as it goes past. Just slightly. You have to kind of step out of the way or get this. It's 12 feet tall. It actually looks down on Benkuhm a little, and goes off past. You see the salamander tent ahead, and you see these magmen running around carrying little bits and pieces. And as you approach, you see a sign that again does that. And anyone who can read can see that it says Fire Snake Forge.
Can I actually butt in and ask if I can make a religion check? Because Yugoloths or Arcanoloths are unique. And I don't know if I know this or not.
Sure.
18.
With an 18, you know it. Yeah.
Okay.
They're known as mercenaries.
When I caught their eye, or when they caught mine, I think I take note and think like, that's neither a devil nor a demon.
It's neither a devil nor a demon, but it is fiendish.
Yes.
It's all kind of in the same way that succubi aren't directly one or the other.
Right.
But they are known to be mercenary, generally speaking. All right. As you approach one of the fire salamanders,
scholars, the way I remember it.
Well, some of them are, and some of them are. Arcanoloths are scholars, but there's also other types that of.
I'm talking about this guy.
Vein. This guy definitely looks like a scholar. Yeah. As you approach the salamander tent, you kind of wait a few seconds in line with a bearded devil in front, and no problem, Bela. Thank you. And as you approach, this large salamander turns its head, the fire just falling off of its kind of flame beard, and it looks up at Fenris and says, "Hello. Hi. What can I do for you?"
Mahadi sent us this way. We're looking at maybe making a trade with our vehicle.
Ah, yes, of course. Come, come. We keep some options out back. My name is Rash. This is Skids and my brother Slad. Come.
And he leads you kind of down towards a little gap between. Oops, sorry, I jumped on the map. A little gap between the infernal machines. Technology. Find my way down here. All right, so let me just. So he leads you to this tiny gap on the north end between two infernal machines, and he motions out where you can see, kind of pulling back a bit of tent. And some boards and barrels that could easily be barricaded if necessary. And this is up in this corner, by the way. And he kind of points out, you see some dust-covered infernal machines, several different kinds. You see the two-wheeled kind. You see what they call the Tormentor with these massive things on front. You see a couple of different ones. He then lets the flap pull back, and he turns back and says to you,
You have something to trade?
We have a scavenger. One of the wheels is a bit busted, but we're looking for something faster.
Well, we don't get many of those these days, but... Well, we might be able to arrange something. Sure. Let me see this scavenger.
so you guys lead him out to your machine?
Yeah.
We've seen what
Can I drag it in? I don't know.
Sure. I mean, you could do that too. You
Keep
go
pushing
after a
it
few
in.
seconds later. Cut to you dragging, with a bit of help from Henrietta, dragging the infernal machine around. The salamander actually suggests you bring it around the outside rather than through the middle of the bazaar. You could drag it through the middle of the bazaar as well if you want to.
I'll just take the pass. The what's it called? If I had like a ruler, I can do. Probably would just do like this.
Okay, so you go through. He was like,
Yes.
Oh,
if you could
don't
just
go
bring
that-
it around. Oh,
Sorry.
never mind. Sure.
Run
Come
over
on.
his foot.
yeah, you drop it right next to them. I just drag that up. I should give one of you control of your infernal machine, shouldn't I? Oh,
Oh, that's
where'd it go?
fucking big.
Where did
Oh,
it go?
crap.
Oh yeah, there it
I
is.
moved it. I do have control.
Thank you. It's a lot to manage. All right, there we go. So you drag this thing through, and several of the demons, devils. There are a couple of demons here, but only like little ones. Like you see a quasit or two, but for the most part, it's devils and some mortals and a few other odds and ends. You actually see one gargoyle kind of look down and give a whistle as he's perched up, and you're like,
Wow, look at that.
as Benkuhm just goes deadlifting this thing through the. And
While
with
he's
Henry at his
doing
help.
that, I'm actually going to cast See Invisibility.
Yeah,
Sure.
cool.
Just
Just to
in
make
case
you
there's
work more.
All right, go ahead and do it a perception check.
Okay. $19.
Whoa, that's a pretty good perception check. All right, so everything seems to be pretty good. I mean, Benkuhm just got a lot of attention by dragging this thing through. They seem, if anything, kind of impressed that a mortal. There aren't very many Goliaths, if any Goliaths here. So as he drops it down, a couple of the things kind of smile, and one of the incubi applauds. Yeah, nice show. And Fenris, as you're looking around, you see kind of behind you and a little bit back, like right up on the top of one of these infernal machines, you see right here an imp that's invisible and is kind of looking down. And when you look at it, you see it go and duck back behind the infernal machine up there. With a 19, that imp looks familiar. That imp,
It's Zeet.
it's not Zeet. It's Scrix,
Oh, it's Grix.
the imp that had been on loan from Bel. It's the one marked with the little purple. He went that way, and then you kind of lost sight of him.
Right.
He had. It's just you recognize his coloration and markings and that little satchel that he carried.
Yeah, I'm gonna quickly tell Falurie that imp Scrix that was our guide, the one that serves Bel. He's spying on us.
All right. Would you like me to take care of it? I do a terrible
let's
French
find
accent.
him.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's find him. I turn to Henrietta and I just say, trade it for a tormentor or something fast. You're good at talking, and then I just kind of like start following, like me and Falurie.
Right.
All right. So with you pointing and trying to spot this little imp as it's skittering across, and Falurie doing the sky, you go ahead and let's do a perception check. Roll with advantage because you have assistance from Falurie. However, Falurie can't see invisibility, but with your help, I'll roll it as kind of advantage. I'll rule it as advantage.
18.
18. Okay, it takes you a while, but you can tell that that little imp is busy. It pops up after a little while on the far side, hold on, let me change the layer. Way over here, near the far end of the infernal rapture, and Falurie spots it up there and points down, points kind of circling above. A couple other things are flying around. It's not that out of place. Some of the Cambians don't bother walking. So you kind of move away and help track. So you're kind of back over towards the entrance of the infernal rapture. That succubus gives you another winning smile as you kind of go scurrying past
I
to
was
go.
just like, another time, and then I just keep going.
You hear her call as you leave. I'll hold you to that. And so then. Meanwhile, Henrietta, you're busy talking with Slod and the other salamanders.
All right.
So, is that plate mail you stole off a paladin?
Ha 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 ha.
We don't get much of that around here. It's alright. I don't judge.
If it works, right?
Hey, careful with that.
He calls over to one of the Magmans as they're kind of walking around an animated armor, carrying some other gear. So they're kind of crawling over your Inferno machine, taking stock, and just determining what it's worth. He lets you know.
We could probably fix this up for a soul coin, or maybe if you deal in gold, we could probably do about 150 gold. Get this old bucket working for you. But if you want a tormentor, that's gonna run
There's
you
something
about...
faster that'll still, fit us all. I'm not really sure all the models.
How many are you?
5. I
Right
think
right now, but
4, 5.
5 at the moment. But you never know. Maybe an extra seat's probably a good investment, honestly. No one
Well,
else.
I mean, the grinder's bulky and carries lots, but it's not that fast. That's the one with the big chomper on the front. Armored coach, but it'll get you
What's the
where it's going.
fastest?
In game terms, that's gonna run you 100 feet. A Devil's Ride, now that's the quick one. The little bike. Those will go 120. And then you got your Scavenger. That's a little bit slower, but still goes 100. And then the Tormentor. Darmita does about 100 as well. So your scavenger can keep up, but it's a little bulky, not as nimble.
Well, we could get a couple of the small ones. Enough for all of us, but I'm not sure if that's something we're all really capable of dealing with. I haven't really gotten behind the wheel myself. Not really sure if I'd be comfortable with that.
Well, they can be rigged to carry too if you want. You could ride on the back with somebody else. As long as they're, don't mind getting cozy.
This salamander seems jovial almost.
Yeah.
And definitely approachable and chatty as you're going through. So the decision is yours.
Yeah, I think I turned to Darmita. I'm saying something like, probably just want to swap it out for something that's not, doesn't look the same. But otherwise, I'm not going to really change it. It's how well it works.
All right. It's up to you. It's up to you guys. Meanwhile, can I get another perception check with advantage from you, Fenris?
Sure.
Actually, sorry, the imp goes back to invisible. The reason Falurie was helpful was spotted it as it popped back and to kind of talk to
26.
somebody. So,
Yeah, well, with advantage? Right.
Unfortunately, because it's invisible, Falurie's not going to be much help at this
Okay.
point.
So
It was that it
it's
came back
26.
and she spotted it from above. 26
Yeah.
is still pretty damn good. As Falurie goes past, you see the imp kind of duck and watch her, and kind of trying to blend in. It's moved again, but it's kind of over amongst, very close to this large carrion crawler that's being zapped and jabbed by a bunch of humans and lemurs kind of standing nearby, kind of looking at this carrion crawler like kind of on the far side here, and the imp is just up in behind, trying to kind of hide in behind up on one of these infernal machines. You see large, unidentifiable slabs of meat hanging from a variety of hooks right off the front, like Mad Max style, off the front of this infernal machine. And you can see these, one of the humans with this weird kind of splayed face kind of mask on its front, kind of identifying it as a cultist, as you will, kind of calling out in almost perfect infernal. And a couple of the lemurs are like, and as they're kind of bidding on slabs of meat, or it seems like the prize is the living carrion crawler that these two humans are busy shackling in the middle. And the imp is just in behind, right over here, as you approach. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna. I mean, so he's just in behind them.
Yeah, and he's kind of peeking in behind, like you'd have to get through them to get to him. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He's watching Falurie mostly, but
Yeah.
because Falurie's the fastest moving one. What do you want to do?
I'm going to Misty Step behind him.
All right. So you get within 30, kind of playing coy,
Yeah.
looking away,
Coy.
and then
Like,
glance.
as if, coy as if I don't see him. Da 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 da, and then I just go boop right behind him.
The shadows just envelop you and then release you behind him. Clink, clink, up onto these
Clink,
massive tank treads that it's perched up on top of.
Yeah. And I say, so we meet again.
Hey, Fenris. I didn't see you there.
But I saw you.
A small Avernus.
Yeah, isn't it? You're watching over us?
Well, I recognized you, but
You go ahead and roll an intimidation check.
Okay. 15.
You know, we're not going to, necessarily leave you twisting in the wind. Bela's a curious kind, and he would want to,
And he whispers this next part as quiet as he can as the cultist kind of notices you standing there.
He's curious about his investment.
We're doing our part. We've come upon some information, and we are still aligned with our ultimate aims.
Good. Likewise.
So you can go back and tell him that.
Sure. I'm happy to see that your first mission was successful. Very clever. What are you looking at, human?
As it turns and barks at the cultist, who's looking at you being like, get off my thing!
I kind of want to do like an insight check to see what he's trying to do here. If there is anything more than just trying to, anything else beyond just following us and checking up on us. Because I know he's probably thinking, do we have the rods or not?
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't told him that we have the rods. I just gave him indication that ultimately
Things
we're
are
alive.
progressing. Yeah. All right,
Things
go
are
ahead and do an
progressing.
insight check.
Sure.
Ooh, I rolled a 3. For our listeners at home, the DM
What's
has
going
rolled
on?
a 3,
21.
and Gordon kicked my ass with a 21. Scrick smiles as though he knows something, and he's like,
Yes.
you get the impression you've spent some time around like some nefarious places, some inns and bars. There was a fight ring not too far outside of Salem Rock, in a smaller town, and it was kind of supposed to be an underground fight club type thing, but all the locals knew, and they kind of, the Peller people would have cracked down on it, but they wanted it to be quiet, and so the locals would just sit out front, and when it was fight night, they'd be sitting there like waiting, and this eagerness, kind of awaiting what is to come next, but trying to keep a lid on it at the same time. This imp looks almost exactly the same.
You know what? I'm gonna try to tease it out of him, say, like, as in, yeah, I'm waiting for it too. I'm just gonna try to deceptively, like, I get you. I'm waiting for it too.
Then you won't mind if I place a little side bet, eh? You want in on the action? I can place something for you. And let's call it a completion prize. Bill doesn't need to know. I have these.
And he opens up his little satchel. He pulls out a couple of soul coins.
Okay. And so, what's he
And he-
betting on?
Well, of course. I suppose I could bet against you, but
Yeah.
when the contract breaks, could go either way. I could pick your bones, but it's sweeter if it's I like you. You're crafty for mortal.
Take that as a compliment. So, I'm gonna try to deceive. So he's betting. He's doing a side bet on whether we fulfill our end of the deal on the rods, right?
And he did use the word close the deal.
Yeah. But what he may not know is that we already got the rods.
With that insight check, he
Yeah.
keeps kind of looking at you as though he's kind of trying to spot where you're carrying something. And he looks over, and at this point, Falurie sees that you're talking to him and comes over and lands. And the human's like, "Yo, get off my thing!" And then Falurie lands, just arms crossed in front of you, and is just like, "Make him move." And the human's like,
This is like a
"All right, nice." Pistachios and beers going into chat. I love it. The carrion crawler is just like, all right. The imp has stopped trying to run away, and he's like,
I mean, I don't want to be too close. I'm supposed to be spying, but we could go into the Infernal Rapture and grab a drink.
You know what? I've got some places to be, things to do, deals to fulfill. You want to make a side bet on something? Maybe I'm interested, maybe I'm not. Maybe we're gonna fulfill our end with Bela, maybe not.
when you mention that, there's a little gleam in his eye, like he knows something you don't. He thinks he's hidden it.
Yes, if you're complete. I'm sure. Let's just say, I look forward to finishing our business. I'm going to bet on you, not against you.
All right.
And that's as big a compliment as Skrix can give.
But I'm definitely not betting against us, so we're not betting against each other then.
Well then, perhaps I could be a broker.
Oh.
I'm sure some may be interested in betting against. There are those.
Well, who wants to bet against us? What do they
The
want to
emotions towards most of the like the tents
the
and all the
table.
people, and
Yeah.
and you get the impression again with that really high and his bad deception of a 3.
Yeah.
He does have a side bet going on already, and he's basically asking you to be part of it, and so he could up the
Okay.
ante, and therefore
Yeah.
you would both profit.
Done. Let's do it. We're gonna
Wow.
up the ante on us. And my interpretation with the insight is that it's a bet on whether we finish our contract, right? Whether we complete
Exactly.
our contract or not.
And the key word every time he says it is, can you finish the contract? As though he knows you're
Right.
already done part of it.
Right. But I know that like he may not know that I've already changed the wording. Right?
Well, he might not know that. All right.
So he thinks that we have to bring it back to Bell, right?
That will be a different insight check. You can try and get that out of him if you like.
Oh.
All right.
that's fine.
Meanwhile,
I'll do the big side bet.
so, you're going with the side bet. Meanwhile, back with the rest of them, you gather everything you need out of the scavenger that you're trading in, or you're gonna fix it up. It's up to you guys. The tormentors and one of those other things are more nimble. Devil's Ride. They offer.
Yeah,
Yeah. What do you want?
we like cut back in, and I'm like humming and hawing and doing the haggler thing, where I'm basically just like, it becomes clear that I like, while the scene was cut away, I've been asking like, are there any other options, like something that goes to the sky? That could be really useful. But if you don't have anything that's faster, I guess a tormentor will do. Right? So I'm like downplaying, like, it's not better than what we have, but it'll be good enough, I guess, right? So
All right.
doing this, like,
I'm gonna get you to
I
roll
think
persuasion.
our scavenger should be a trade-in for a new tormentor, is what I'm saying.
Okay. I will let you roll persuasion.
Cool.
And you know what?
Yeah, 25.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm saying. 25. Damn. All right. Let's see what Rash says. Rash rolls a 6. All right. So Rash kind of has taken a shine.
To you. Hi, you're pretty ballsy wearing that around here, I will tell you that. So, tell you what, we'll give you a good deal on this scavenger, and,
And you wanted a tormentor in its place?
Yeah.
All right, so he offers you a tormentor
Right? I should have double checked that.
and a pretty good deal on a devil's ride as well, if you want.
Do you how many seats the tormentors to make sure I'm not screwing myself?
Tormentors can carry, I think, 4. They're basically dune buggies. 4 seats. There is some cargo room as well. So in a pinch, a person could go
tormentor
there.
and one bike. That just sounds really good because I'm gonna have something scout if we need to.
Yep, and then you've got a flying Falurie anyway.
Yeah.
The Devil's Rider designed for 1, but you can rig them up for 2.
Cool. Yeah, I thought they just sort of had 2 seats. Can it fit in the cargo space?
Unfortunately, no. In the Scavenger, it could,
Okay.
but in the Tormentor, it would have to be piloted separately.
Okay, so we need someone always on that if we're taking it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a pain. But
He offers you could do a 2 Tormentors if you want, but it's going to cost you more than.
No,
just
we
the
want
Scavenger.
to make as few driving rolls as
1.
possible, right? Yeah.
Okay. It's up to
I
you then.
mean, I think
With
we can just take the 1 without the rider. We can just take the tormentor because
I think so.
You could
there's
cram
only
5 in
5 of
there.
us.
It would be uncomfortable, but you're not
Can I
planning
get
on
up
sticking around too
Devil's
long.
Ride?
Valerie only has to be in there once in a while.
Yeah.
Can I see if it works easily?
Yeah, but
Which, the
Benkuhm
bike?
could use the Devil's Ride, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Could get both.
The Devil's Ride? So Benkuhm goes
Yeah.
wandering over to this bike. This
Benkuhm
beautiful,
needs
weird,
rest.
infernal machine, just running your hand along it. And this other salamander kind of looks over as you're looking at this, is like,
Ah, yes, you've got good taste. Good taste. It's a devil's ride.
this is the brother Slag. He's like,
Go on, give it a try.
So you hop on. It looks pretty simple.
Yeah.
He shows you the controls. You could definitely ride this thing. In fact, it feels pretty good.
Okay. Pop a
He's-
wheelie?
He shows you where to put the soul coin, assuming you have any. It's got one in there right now, so it's got some fuel. They've got a roll a d4, and that'll last how many days of soul fuel is already in them, and then so you get both of those, and they take your scavenger off your hands. It goes ricketying and rattling off, and you now have 2 brand new machines. So I'll share those out to the rest of you.
Nice.
Okay.
If you're sure.
All right.
All right. So for my side bet, I'll bet 2 soul coins. My 3.
All right. So,
2 and 2.
yeah. So Scrix is like,
You're confident. Yes, good. I will make sure these get to where they need to go. A pleasure doing business with you.
all right. You have your rides. I'm gonna get you to do a wisdom saving throw. Everybody, wisdom saving throw.
Oh.
Well, I'm gonna call this the Welcome to Vegas after walking through the desert roll.
Are we?
The
am I
DC is
standing?
not too high.
Am I still standing? I mean, on the screen I am.
Yeah,
but-
you're right next to
Everyone except
Henrietta.
for Fenris, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone except Fenris gets the +4. DC
Falurie.
is only
and
10.
Falurie, yeah.
So 16 for me.
I'll roll for or somebody else roll for Falurie.
I'm not rolling well, so I'm not gonna do it.
I'll roll for Falurie. Oh my.
What was the DC again?
It's only 10.
Okay.
18.
Falurie,
+4.
I believe,
Not
has
+4.
Not +4, but she should have proficiency in high wisdom because she's a monk, right?
Right.
Like,
So
wisdom?
she will have passed.
Yeah,
That would
it's
be
at least a
roll the
+5.
9.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
at
I don't know
least
if
a
she's
12.
proficiency, but
Really?
sure.
I thought it was a wisdom save.
All she needs is 10.
Um,
So
Okay.
I
I
can-
don't know. I could be wrong.
that
I
would
can
probably
tell
do
you.
it. Yeah, you can look it up.
Falurie?
I'm gonna say
Yeah,
probably.
I can look it up.
I just thought monks had as one of their proficiencies.
She has a +3.
Oh yeah, so
Okay, that'll
that
do.
brings her up to 12 handily, and then some maybe. And so you all resist the enticing allure of a comfortable night's stay in a beautiful, lavish, just pampering level bed, with all kinds of treats and opulence and every manner of sin and decadence possible, right at the doorstep of the Infernal Rapture. Mahadi comes
we
out.
would like to get something to go, though.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit of food.
A to-go meal would be
All right.
very nice, especially for Benkuhm. He needs some nutrients.
That's fair. All right, so you.
So we're resting here.
We're
No.
not resting
Okay,
here, but
cool.
we're gonna pick up like premium rations.
Yeah, premium rations.
All right, so you park the Devil's Ride and the Tormentor kind of off to the side. Falurie again agrees to stand watch as the rest of you make your way back to the entrance to the Infernal Rapture. The Succubi and Incubus greet you, and you see Mahadi not too far in, and he spots you as you come up. Ah, good. I was hoping that you would be finding what you need here. So, can I tempt you to stay?
Pray. Places to be, fortunately.
Ah,
And,
busy people.
Did you find Felice? Any sign of this one?
I did actually find that little gnome lady. Yes, the hedge witch. How she got here? Well, she's been busy telling, actually. I'm assuming that makes you Fenris
That's right.
and Darmita and points at the big one. I'm going to guess you're Benkuhm. You I don't know. Points to Henrietta.
Yeah, I don't mind him.
Ah, yes. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Mahadi. Well, yes, your little friend has been quite helpful, actually. She's been working away. She tends to stay near Bernie, but, you know, she wanders around and makes herself useful. We go way back, you see. I needed to make sure you weren't going to be, harmful before I let you know that she was here. Felice! And you turn around and the curtains part from the entryway, and Felice comes bounding out. Good luck to you, Darcy. Now you got 2 to do.
Oh!
Please.
Who is it?
Please.
You see
Long time no see.
your companions. It's been about 3 weeks, but it feels like longer.
Fenris! Oh, I mean, no, you did go by Fenris, yes. No pseudonym for you, because it was one, I believe, yes. But,
Good memory.
Bela and...
Bella?
Well, the
yeah,
fake
that
names.
was the pseudonym that you gave us.
Oh,
Darmita.
right.
Darmita was going by pseudonym Bela.
That's right.
I don't remember. I do not remember what Benkuhm's was. I think we made it up because Trent wasn't here that day.
Big Blue.
It was something
I
like
can't
that.
remember.
Anyway, yeah, she comes out. Is very. I think she's still just chipper, you know. Yeah.
Oh,
How
absolutely.
have you been going? It's been like, taking a while to get here.
Yeah, you expected them to be here a long time ago, but you've been having a good time, as we discussed about.
Where is Archibald? Or whatever his name was. They say the pseudonym instead.
We're looking to pick him up at our next stop. He entered a dream. We all did. He hasn't come out yet. We might have to go in and fish him out.
Police, can I get you to please roll an Arcana check?
I would love to roll an Arcana check. Where's Felice's sheet? What level is she?
Same
I'll roll it
level.
as she left off. She was 11 when we left her.
Wow.
21 on Arcana.
That was a long time ago then.
Yeah. The high levels are long, so 2 levels is a lot.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right, 21. That's pretty good. There's an inkling there. You're like, a dream you can't get out of. There are very few creatures that could pull you, or very high-level magics that can pull you into the dreamscape. Even fewer things that can keep you there.
Yeah.
So you have an inkling about, automatically, like, what might have happened to him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, exciting!
All right. Mahadi, I just had to use this icon for now. It doesn't actually look like that. Much more jovial, much more well-dressed. And he's like, so is there anything else we can do for you?
If we could get a meal to go.
Absolutely. Come on in. Let's just prepare it. You can have the apps here and perhaps dessert on the road. What do you say?
We really are in a hurry.
All right.
But we appreciate it.
We'll get a doggy bag. No, not an actual dog. It's an Exandria expression. All right, I have to go explain that to the cooks. I'll be right back. Make yourselves comfortable. Oh.
Please let me show you around!
There is a matter of a fee. I'm sorry to be so crass, but Elizabeth, can you sort them out? And that succubus comes walking over and brushes past Fenris, and you're just like, like, let's remind you, Fenris is a teenage boy. Behind all of
He's
this,
also immune to charm, which is pretty cool.
that is handy, and immune to
Weakness,
telepathy,
charm.
unless he is. So anyway, nonetheless, he's
But
still
is
a
he
teenage
immune
boy.
to boobs?
Yeah, no, right. It's not magical
No.
charm. This is just like, yeah.
I'll let
Like-
you charm.
The oldest kind of charm.
Henrietta projects an aura that makes everyone around her.
Oh, yeah.
Is he immune to boobs?
She has been trying to keep well positioned, and then Fenris ran off, and she was like, "Good luck. I'm gonna try and keep these three safe instead."
All right. So
That's
Falorie's
cool.
actually watching the infernal machines. So she's not. She's over there somewhere. But
Yeah.
didn't mean to jump it. The rest of you go in and have a seat. And Elizabeth points out that the meal's going to cost you 1 soul coin for a full meal. However, I guarantee it will be the greatest meal you've ever had.
Each? Or for all of us?
Oh,
We do
that's
have one
each.
more. I don't
Trust
think
me.
we have.
You'll find no better meal here on Avernus, or any of the hells.
Is that charged?
I don't think-
the leftover ones.
We don't have any.
Felice, go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Sure, I'll do that. I would like to say I'm pretty sure, unless I'm mistaken, that you can. Once you've used a soul coin, you may still like have the coin. It's just empty, and so you can barter the vessel. I believe is correct. Persuasion.
Yes,
Oh, that's
please.
perception. Persuasion. Oh, good. Come on, -1. Zero's good enough, I guess.
0. Elizabeth and Felice have not been getting along. You have had a brief encounter, and it was one incredibly memorable encounter. Either you, Darcy, or Internet. Why does this succubus freaking hate that little gnome?
I'm just really annoying. Like, I don't
Darmita?
know. I don't
Darmita
know
can speak
that
to
she
that.
hates- right? It's like, oh yes, it's like, oh my friend, let me tell you about the thing that just happened. It's just like, I hate this person.
Yeah.
Why are you
Darmita
so?
can speak to how annoying Felice is.
She's
so.
been chatting away. There's oh man. Mahadi seems to like you because you've done some work with Mahadi before, and you have been working and paying your way by work, but there's been no official deals that you need to do, by the way.
Cool, awesome, great.
Elizabeth goes and whispers into Fenris's ear, not in a charming kind of way, but just trying to explain to him, you'll find your soul reinforced by these simple but hearty foods. Trust me. This could be to your benefit, and it certainly beats the fare you'll find out on the dust plains. She's implying there's a magical kind of benefit to eating these meals.
Right.
The question's still like Darmita will kind of go over to Fenris.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have left?
I have
Because
3
you've
soul
been
coins.
throwing them all around.
You
So-
also learn from them that there is an exchange rate. If you want, you can go and trade other items, gold, treasure, etc. You can actually exchange them here in the Wandering Emporium. I can look up the rates if you want.
Yeah, what's the exchange rate for gold? Because I have some.
Yeah, I do too. And I don't need it.
I believe it works out to 100 gold, but negotiated. But the standing rate tends to be about 100 gold per soul coin.
So I have 393, so I'll spend 200 gold.
All right.
I'll spend 200 as well. To get an extra soul coin.
Sure.
Uh,
It takes a walk
to-
around
for-
the corner, but you talk to
because we're gonna need fuel.
Amnesu that trades you kind of a overgrown, kind of jolly, but with these weird long tufted ears and just a very strange being. Acts as an exchange rate. Fet Allah, I will give you a good price. And he decides. He also says, I can send messages. I can do notary services if you wish, and yeah, whatever you need. And yeah, I can give you. Do a persuasion check.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I don't want to spend Carl's money, but Falurie has 155 soul coins or
Also,
gold.
The actually
22.
Mahadi himself comes and visits your table at one point and leans in and just takes a good look at Fenris and just kind of takes note of your hand and says, well, you know, if you're a little bit short, we can take barter. That is a mighty nice ring you've got. I could certainly use a ring like that.
Which one? Like, I have, because like, bling! No, like, I think I have 2, right? I have the Ring of X-Ray and I have the...
Yeah.
If I wanted to see someone naked, I'd just ask. And one of the succubi gives him a little flirty, from across the room.
He wants the Ring of Mind Shielding. No
Yeah.
dice.
Huh?
I rolled a 22 on my persuasion.
Damn. All right. Yeah. So he decides he's going to give it to you at. Well, hold on one sec. Let's find out. He rolled pretty well with a 19. So he's like, you know what? I'll do it at cost. So that's fine. So 100 per soul coin. Fair. There you go.
All right.
So you get
So
a fair exchange rate.
Right. So I'm actually going to do 300. So I'll get 3 soul coins.
Sure. Anybody else want to chip in?
I've done 200.
Okay.
So you get 2.
So that's 5 soul coins. That will get us each a meal, but we still need fuel. So pony up, folks.
No, I already have 3. Like, I have 3.
But I
now
thought you
have-
bet those.
No, I only bet 2. So I still
You
have
found
1.
a bunch of them after a fight. I forget where.
We did have 6, right?
Yeah.
In total, it was so someone has. There's at least 3 floating around. Because we had 6 and we each took. I took 2, and I think you have 2, and I think
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Henrietta doesn't
so
touch them, but Falurie maybe.
Yeah.
Probably Falurie has 2.
Yeah.
probably Falurie. So 2, 2, and 2. So
You have some
all
extra.
right. So okay.
You
we
could
have
still
enough
have
then.
6 then, and still buy meals.
Yeah.
We'll buy it.
Unless-
We'll each get a meal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's do that.
All right. So you get these incredible meals, and true to his word, they come out in portable packages, wrapped in cloths, almost like the old-timey picnic baskets. Except don't look too close at what the basket's made of. probably some kind of bone. But anyway, so it comes out and it is incredibly amazing. There's everything in there's fresh strawberries, like it is incredible in hell. And this meal that you get is just incredibly delicious.
That's a first.
And here, it tastes delicious, which is the first time in hell you've had anything that tastes good. The wine, you're all getting that heady buzz after just a couple of sips. You get a whole wine skin, 2 for the party anyway, and a bunch of food. And as over the next little while, as you eat, I'm assuming you're gonna eat on the go, or you're gonna. Are you sure? I can't convince you to stay. We have very comfortable rooms and plenty of services.
We really don't have time, Mahadi.
Well, I understand. Business before pleasure. But my business is pleasure, so you just let me know. You know where to find me. Actually, speaking of which, here, have my card. And he actually offers it to Darmita with a winning smile. Nice.
Nice.
And he chuckled. Nice. All right. Well, stay safe out there. It's a dangerous world. I'll see you next time. Big man? Yeah, it is, by the way, so you guys mount up on your infernal machines. You pull out of this bastion of, it's an oasis in the middle of this twisted, broken plain in hellscape. And as you pull away, you now have the same benefits as a hero's feast.
Wow.
So 24 hours, benefits of a hero's feast, with the added effect, as you're going to, well, Fenris can't be charmed. Actually, nobody near the Paladin can be charmed. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. All right, Mahadi's very happy and waving away, and he calls out just as you're starting to pull away, and he's like, don't forget, come back and visit me sometime, time. And there's this weird ripple that goes over you to no effect because your Paladin negates the charm. Actually, yeah. Well, what's the rule? And
I will read the rule.
yeah, read it because it kind of matters. If it's just advantage, that's a different thing.
Courage.
It's not. It's immune, but I can find it. Paladin, Oath of Devotion. At level 7, which is what I am in Paladin.
Wow.
Anyway.
You can't be charmed.
Starting level 7, you and friendly creatures within 10 feet of you can't be
Damn.
charmed while you are conscious. Now, that assumes that we never split up more than 10 feet, which
No, not since you've been
we
with
might
Mahadi.
have, but when you're going through, when you're not in combat, when you're in
Yeah,
the halls of a building, it makes
it
sense.
could
So
easily.
right now we're all in a dune buggy.
Yeah, you're mounting up, and you didn't split up. You didn't do any services or anything. You stayed together the whole time while Mahadi was around, and that just saved your ass. He cast mass suggestion on you all, and was going to be like, "No, you're going to come back by nightfall," and
That'd be really cool.
and as you're going away, you see him kind of smiling for a minute, and then.
Here's my
And
question.
for just a second, it cuts to him, and you see that as his smile, it cuts back to you as you're pulling away, and then cuts back to him, and you see these feral, like feline tiger teeth, and these inverted hands, and he's it just kind of scratching at his own palms as you go away, and he just feels that tether of the spell not sink in as it's just like. And it falls flat on the desert plain as you pull away. He's just like, God damn it.
Did we leave Felice though, or are we taking Felice?
Yeah,
with
we're gonna
us?
flash back to that. I think.
Well, that's up to
That's an
you. I'm
interesting
assuming
question,
Felice
right?
was going to
Like-
come with.
Yeah.
And her
assume-
new friend, a Tessrum.
Pardon?
You now have that little kitty cat. You've been
Oh.
nice to it.
Nice, awesome. I'm into that. Yeah. All right. So like there was that conversation with Mahadi that was like off screen, right?
Yeah.
That they had, and so I guess I don't have to have that conversation of like, can I leave? Can I go do this? Like that was something we already talked about. So I guess
Mahadi?
I should talk with like Fenris and Benkuhm and Darmita about it though, right? Like,
Well, if they're willing to take you, Mahadi has no purchase over your soul right now. Although you've been tempted, but I mean, he keeps saying, "Well, if you do this, I'll give you." Oh, you're already doing it. Never mind. Well, if it's like you're just willing to help, and also you had a good friend there who seemed to just show up at just the right moments. Felice, Bernie the barber, cheerful, well-kept woman, and always very calming. And you spent a lot of time around her, but you're never quite sure why. You just kind of keep finding your way back in there, and then you kind of keep forgetting details. This is not unknown for Felice. She often is a little bit flighty, so we'll resolve that another time. But thanks to some
I mean,
careful...
if you're okay with me bringing Felice along, I will have her, ask to like. So how's it been going? We ready to take these last steps?
Yeah, we're getting the
what we were
band
doing
back
when we left,
together. We need to get Archibald, and then we need to go
Oh,
get
this is
Lulu, and then we're gonna resolve this. So let's get going.
All right, and with that, you pull away, and I think we're gonna go and take a little break.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
So,
I'm so down to play Felice again.
With the
I missed
Hero's
her.
Feast,
Yep.
it says it removes, it cures all disease
Yep.
and poison, and you get extra hit point maximum.
Yeah. Somebody roll 2d10.
But I'm just wondering, with Darmita, does that change the effect that she had because of the dreamscape, where her max hit points were lowered?
They were permanently lowered by 5, if I remember correctly. And
Yeah,
had a worse.
by 5.
So this just regular temp hit points. So your
Okay.
permanent hit points went down permanently by 5 to that night hag. And I'm
Okay.
assuming you're gonna bring Felice up to speed about all of the things that she's missed out on, as she's busy chattering away.
Darmita won't. Darmita's going to be busy keeping an eye on Benkuhm and driving.
Sure. Who wants to ride with Benkuhm? Anybody? Maybe.
Does Felice have a bag? I can throw Felice onto the Devil's Ride.
Or Henrietta.
She's got
She's
goggles.
tiny.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys can sort that out. We're going to take a little break here. Thanks very much, Internet.
right.
Don't forget, we
I was
love to
disconnected
get...
there. Sorry about that.
No,
We love to
same.
get suggestions, especially for episode names. So we're going to keep going for a little bit longer, I think. But we'll see where the hellscape takes us next. Hey,
sounds
I feel
good.
like that's a good tagline for 2020, 2021. Yeah.
Where does the hellscape take
Where
us
does
next?
the hellscape take us next? All right. Thanks, everybody.
We gotta
We'll be
hustle.
back in about 10 minutes. All right. See you soon.
Cool.
All right. We are coming on back. Hi, everybody.
So we're each rolling 2d10?
Yep, 2d10. You're under the effects of a Hero's Feast.
17
Let's do this.
for me.
Hi, everybody. We're back. Trent, of course, had to get going, so we're gonna have Bela boss Benkuhm around. It's just like old times. And then, in the meantime, yes, please make sure you've rolled 2d10 for your temporary hit points from that. The other fun thing about this, and I don't know if you knew that it was this close, but eating that meal makes you have disadvantage against Mahadi's charms. So when he was casting, he was damn confident that he was going to get you.
Fun.
But you screwed that over because you made them immune to charm. So, Henrietta, you just
I wonder if
saved...
that technically worked or not. I'm actually not entirely sure.
You just
can't
saved
be charmed,
everybody.
but I don't know if it uses the charm status. It's not immune to
So,
charm. It's a whole thing. Anyway.
Would we know that he tried to charm us?
It's
But is that
suggestion,
counterspellable?
so You can do a
I think
perception check
so.
if you want to,
Yeah.
but suggestion is not as obvious as charm person. Charm
Also,
person,
it's like innate magic, right? So it's not
Yeah.
like, oh, I know how spells are cast.
I would still
It's-
say, how about you give us a nice little Arcana check there, Fenris, and we'll see if that pans out.
Sure. Okay.
As you guys are motoring away from the
20.
Wandering Emporium, 20. Yeah, you know he tried to charm you.
I was like, oh wait, I don't need to counterspell that. I'm like,
It was crafty. Like you were dozy from the meal, and you were just like, and then after it happened, you're just like, what the?
yeah, exactly. I will
Like
let them know.
your
what he
best
tried to
friend
do.
just tried to slip something, and you're just like, no.
Yeah, I will let them. I let everyone know what he just tried to pull.
Yeah, probably Henrietta's like similarly oblivious. She's just radiates this
Yeah.
power subconsciously, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
FYI, guys, this guy just tried to trick us.
Well, what do you know? A devil's a dick. All right, so
Right.
so you
Okay,
guys,
sorry, Todd. I just want to clarify because according to the actual spell itself, like
Yeah.
the Hero's Feast spell,
Yeah.
the hit point maximum and your hit points. It's not temp hit points.
oh, right,
It's
Gotcha.
actually hit points maximum
It's like the 8th spell.
right.
and
Okay, so
your
yeah, you
number
are all
of
up
hit
by
points.
whatever it is you rolled.
Right. And so when this wears off, we'll go back down again, but
Yeah,
for the duration, we're still above our hit point maximum.
You'll be dead
Yeah.
by
that's
then.
right.
It's all good. I mean, what? So yes, you guys, you leave there. Where do you want to go next? And we'll cut to that.
MadMaggie's.
MadMaggie's.
Yeah.
Okay, I am gonna need survival checks from Darmita with advantage just to see how fast, because I know time is of the essence. But
Is she just like trailblazing, or do we need someone for each bike?
no, between the two,
Yeah.
you can guide.
Yeah, it's a guide
Benkuhm.
thing. That makes sense to me. That makes sense.
All right. So how many do you need?
You just roll one, just the one, and we see how it goes. But you have advantage.
Bloop, bloop.
Whoa, whoa!
On fire tonight.
That is a natural 20 for a total of 31. Darling, you are
That
on a
beast
highway
did
in
her-
hell.
Yeah, that piece did her good. She's just
How
like,
well you did last time you rolled survival.
Damn. All right. Cut to that. You're just burning rubber to get there, and you dodge everything. You skirt this one. You it's amazing. You get there in record time. Across the hellscape, you've lost half a day in travel, but you pull up to Fort Knucklebone, the kind of familiar hillscape rising up out of it, and on the outside you see a couple of infernal machines circling around. You see redcaps guarding the gate, and you go pulling up into Fort Knucklebone, and you are now there. You're welcomed inside. Barnabas. Oh, good to see you again. Good to see you. Wonderful. Oh, wow. You look a little different. Hey, who's that guy? And he points at Benkuhm.
Darmita's gonna step in front and just kind of give him a glare and be like, "Don't talk to him."
Oh, okay. First thing. And the flame skull goes scooting away. Chaka and Clunk, the two Kenku, greet you both with like,
Hey, what the fuck? Yeah, what the fuck?
and echoing each other. The madcaps and redcaps just kind of skittering around, generally steering clear of you. You pull up, and MadMaggie and her giant flesh golem come out and greet you. And she's a night hag, so she's got these long, extended arms and fingers, and just creepy. And it's almost worse. All these weird talismans and fetish items just kind of hanging off of her as she comes walking out of her inner chamber, kind of between the knuckles of Fort Knucklebone, and she comes walking up and she says,
Ah, yes. Welcome back. Welcome.
and Mickey does this little dance when you come up, the massive flesh golem.
How can MadMaggie help you? I trust that
Oh,
you've
you're
been having
MadMaggie! I'm
a
in front of
miserable
you!
time. Ah, you're very
So sorry,
small.
Todd.
It's a pleasure. Any friend of Fenris is a friend of mine.
Good to see you again, MadMaggie. We have been out and about, but we wanted to drop by here one last time because we left someone here. You remember Archibald?
Yes, yes. The dreamscapes are. Come. I'm putting on a pot of tea. Come.
And she leads you in between up into her kind of encampment, Mickey and the kind of keeping pace, the others guarding the outskirts. So you go in there and you sit around, and after a little sniff, she settles down, gives you each a cup of tea and pours some. And she's curious. She's asking about, what have you been through? She's kind of wanting to know.
Yes, tell me. You've been through a lot, I can tell. Tell me of what you have been up to.
As a
I don't know
reminder,
about the other.
hags
Sorry, what's that?
feed on misery.
I recall that, and I'll tell her enough about some misery that we've inflicted.
And Mickey does
Especially
a little
on
dance in the
Sarnia,
corner.
just like really ruining her day. In the dream, I'll even mention it that in the dream part, like, yeah, we met her in the dream, and then we'd be like, totally ruined her day, and then we, met her again.
You mean in the dream
Yeah.
that I guided you? You strayed off course. You went into the side rooms, didn't you?
And she kind of walks around, kind of trailing a finger along somebody's shoulder, pats Felice on the head absent-mindedly, kind of goes up and just almost reverently goes to touch Henrietta's helmet, and then pulls her long fingers back.
We fed
And
you
when she-
enough. It's not what we're here for. We fed you enough. It's not what we're here for.
I do have just one last question, and then I will do my best to help.
And she looks right at Darmita, and she says,
When you were here last, there was your little Hollyfent friend. Where is he now?
she looks Darmita in the eye.
And Darmita looks her dead in the eye and says, he's busy doing something else.
Roll
No.
a deception check. No, we'll keep this straight. It'll be straight. I was going to say disadvantage, but I think it's straight.
Nice.
My dice do not like me tonight. I rolled a 12. Bella
She might
got
have a pretty good bonus, though.
a 20. She would. I can actually look that up real quick.
Yeah, double check that. It might be 8. I think it's 6, but it might be 8.
Let's see, really fast. Sorry, 1 second as you stare in and just like, for those who don't know, Lulu died when you went to the crypt of the Hell Riders, passing away, and that's the only time we've seen Darmita really lose it.
Yeah, this is one of those, like, I almost wonder if she already knows. I mean, you're checking, so probably not. But it's the kind of, like, that's such a pointed question, right? Like, Yeah.
We also have 2 other people, so
Yeah. You have 2
It
other
could-
people and not her, and not Lulu. But
Yeah.
you were pretty protective of Lulu.
Yeah.
She's looking at you like, yes. Is he? Well, that little old man is very entertaining. I like his particular brand of madness. If he should ever
well, I'll
need
be
a
sure to
place,
tell him.
is always welcome at MadMaggie's. All right, so MadMaggie settles down and pulls out this orb and goes to set it in front and pulls out a handkerchief, put it in the middle, and uncovers it, and it's just hovering. This clear crystal ball in front of her. She motions for you all to sit around her. She says, I don't think this will take very long. You say you lost him in the dreamscape. Most die in the dreamscape, so I'm going to mention that in advance. There's a good chance that he is not alive anymore. And I will be the bearer of bad news. But time is of the essence. So she makes some motions and makes some casting and looks in this ball. Can I get everybody to do a wisdom? Well, actually, I'm going to actually go around the horn and just see what do you want to do to assist in finding Archibald. It should involve a check of some kind, but you can think of how you want to contribute in your way. How are you going to call out to find him? How are you going to search for him? We're going to be a bit quick about this, so pick a skill. It has to involve a skill check, and it's got to involve all of you.
Well, I'm gonna try to persuade him to get his ass out of the dream.
Love it. Go ahead and roll
Because-
persuasion as she's motioning over this, and you can see these little images just in the ball, and then every time you blink, it's like you're surrounded by it, and then you open your eyes again, and it's just contained in this little mist within the ball.
Can I use survival to know the dreamscape because I've been there to try to navigate it quicker to find him?
Yes, you may, but it is not a favored terrain. So I'm gonna say you're rolling straight roll.
Straight roll.
So Fenris, how'd you do?
27.
27! Dear God. Your voice echoes. For a second, you close your eyes. You're all standing together around MadMaggie in this same little cadre, but the walls of the tent are gone. It's just mist, and you see that the strange hallway is extending a little bit into the distance in front of you. And Fenris, you call out to Archibald. Go ahead. This is your 27 persuade to get his ass out here.
Archibald, we're getting the band back together. Get your ass out of that silly dream, whatever you're in. Come out and play.
It's hard to tell. He might have heard you, though. You did very well. How did you do, Bela? Or Darmita?
I got a 30, but first, before we resolve that, Benkuhm would use his intimidation to basically intimidate him to come out.
Sure thing. Get your ass out here or I'm going to beat your ass.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah, I mean, because the last he knew, Benkuhm was dead.
That's true. All right. So that almost sounds like
from
persuasion.
the grave.
But I
I'm
don't
back from the
have,
grave.
just so you know, I don't actually, for some reason, have access to Benkuhm's player sheet. It's locked.
Oh,
It's also like it's only updated on like Beyond. Anyway.
So-
I don't know if they're connected or not.
right.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, you roll
But
a
I did-
d20, you add like 10 to it. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
But I did get a just for my roll, for my survival, I got a 30. Straight
Whoa.
roll.
All right. So as you're looking around in the mists, and you see these things. You see these familiar doors.
Benkuhm got a nat 20.
Oh, damn! So he just
I don't know.
he just goes, get out here! I came back from the dead for you! And you see like birds scared out of a forest, just got these weird wisps and twirls. You swear to God, you see these eyes in the darkness go boop, 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 and then scurry off, and just he spooked everything in the area. And actually, off in the corner, you hear this one like and you hear a quiet sobbing off to the right. Darmita, you got a 30 on your survival check. You carefully wind your way down this little path, and it's so misty. It's almost like you can't see one step in front of you. And it's this winding, stony path descending downwards. Each step is a new revelation, and yet you manage to carefully pick your way through. You do surmise that it's a pit off to the right, and above you're certain you could dislodge and just fall to your doom, but you wind and guide the rest of the party down this path towards this quiet crying. And then you hear a voice. But before we do that, Henrietta, what are you gonna do?
Well, this changes things. Now I have someone I can actually like talk to and comfort and sort of, reach out to emotionally. They seem look like they need support. Am I allowed to do another persuasion check, or is that not allowed?
Oh, sorry. Did you already do a persuasion?
No, I know I didn't, but Fenris did. I don't know if I'll double up checks.
In this case,
Context is different. Yeah.
I'm gonna. Yeah, you can do persuasion or insight.
Yeah, I don't know what else it would be. Like, I think narratively, I approach.
Sure. So go ahead and roll persuasion.
Archie. All right.
So while you're doing that, Falurie is gonna try to roll. Whoa, damn! You guys and your rolls tonight.
We're level 13. We all have like proficiency of
Still,
5.
27. That's pretty good. You go forward and you call it to Archie, and then you realize, as the sniffling and the sobbing and the voice, that's not Archibald. That's a child. There's a child in the mist ahead, and she's not alone.
Oh, okay.
And you go walking forward and you say, we mean no harm.
Mhm.
And the sobbing subsides slightly. And you can all hear this really quiet thing now. What does Falurie want to
Maybe
do
I
to
can help you.
contribute?
I don't know monks very well.
I have no idea what.
How
I
about
think
perception?
you'd hope that. Yeah, she can make a perception check. I do believe that she's proficient in perception. She's done a lot of scouting.
Who wants to roll for her?
I'll roll. So that should be
Probably plus
assuming that
8,
she's.
so 19.
Yeah, I would say 8.
Yeah, so about a 19 on perception. She calls down quietly as she's on the wing nearby. She says, "There are 2 shapes ahead. Careful. One of them's small, one of them's bigger. One of them's armed." And then goes to flank on the far side, but not too far. As you go down
Perception
the hill,
is a +8.
oh yeah, okay, so yeah, 19, perfect. As you all descend down this rocky path towards this quiet crying, MadMaggie just kind of coming along behind you. And MadMaggie in this place exudes this kind of light. Just a dim, almost sickening kind of green light, but light nonetheless, that seems to burn away the fog in her immediate vicinity. As you get closer and closer, you hear the crying.
Yeah, Henrietta tries
And
to
you hear that say,
approach and
"Don't
comfort.
let the bad man get me."
You lost.
And you hear another voice. It's all right, darling. I won't let it hurt you. You hear Archie in the mists, comforting this child. Shing! You hear the blade drawn. And as you get closer, you see a child with... It's almost like the Grudge, or the Ring, with the really long hair and like the childish clothing, but these extended long arms, almost dragging in the dirt. A very young, oddly translucent night hag of sorts, but young.
Right.
And
I
you
forgot
see,
about that.
you've seen her once before in the dreamscape, and you see Archibald standing, one arm on her shoulder, and his blade drawn with his other hand, his wig tucked in his belt. He looks beat to shit. Like, he looks like he took on an entire bar and then some. Like, he looks rugged, but you've seen this look in his eye, that cold steel look in his eyes. He's ready to just run you through. All right then, let's do this. And he gets ready to do that, and you step out of the mist. Who are you?
Fenris.
Tell me
We know
true.
each other. It's Fenris. With Darmita, we got Benkuhm, and Hen's with us.
He keeps in that defensive stance, twisting his rapier, which you've seen him do some scary shit with. At his belt, you see him take out the other sunblade, and his hand is just shaking. He's that wounded. He steadies himself. He's got his rapier, but also the sunblade. He takes it out, and he's just a wreck, but he's standing ready to run you through. How do I know it's really you? This place. Tell me something. Tell me something only Fenris would know.
You're from El Terrell, and you didn't really like it there. When we met those dwarves and helped save them.
Before El Terrell, you could have gotten that from one of the dwarves or whatever was left of them.
Okay.
Would you like to see me shoot?
Try
You know
it.
how good
And
I
the blade,
am.
The sunblade lights up. He does a double stance now with two blades. And it's just like,
And I turn and I like scope out like a tree or something, like a target, and I just go vroom, 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 and I split the arrows down.
nice. And he's just like, all right, we'll get to you in a minute, love.
You and I met, remember? Way back with Johannes.
What was the name of the guard?
Name of which guard?
The
Did we kill them
guard!
or not?
The one where we met. He's holding this razor sharp blade and the sun blade just
Todd.
hissing in the mist.
Sounded like a frog. I don't know the name of that. I just know that you came with us, and you came with Johannes.
The
And
little
that's a
night
name.
hag is tugging on his coat, and she says,
I don't like them. Make them go away.
Do I recognize you? Weren't you in that dream? Is it what, Nigella?
that gasp was from behind you.
Right.
The little night hag, the dream hag, kind of comes out from pokes out from behind Archibald.
Yeah,
Remember Golden Eyes?
it
We
is
met.
you. Huh. It could be, Archie. It could be them.
Fuck. Probably dead anyway. He lowers his blades.
Is there something out here that you're...
This is the
Defending him from-
dreams. Everything's here.
Well, then we better leave. With her.
You're right, Archie. You're right, Fenris. The sunblade turns off. He puts it on his belt, and he kind of wobbles and starts to fall. Benkuhm just grabs him.
Benkuhm holds him up.
He looks
It's
like he
okay.
hasn't eaten in a long time. He looks beaten to shit.
Darmita's gonna make some. She's gonna make some good berry.
The little night hag eagerly looks at you as well.
And I will. How do we figure out how many I get? Is it just
You get 8.
okay? I give them each a couple.
The night hag goes to eat, and Archie puts out his hand and stops her for a second and takes his first.
And I'll take one and I'll eat it.
You eat it. He holds it up. Chin chin, my dear. Oh. He gives the little night hag a nod. She eats it, and he gives her his second. All right then, Fenris. Let's get out of here. Oh. Almost forgot. I think this is yours. And he gives you a little scrap of cloth.
Nice.
And he then leans heavily on Benkuhm and goes walking. And as you guys leave the dreamscape, he mutters up to Fenris. It was Kermit. The name of the frog guard was Kermit the Guard.
The guards. Oh. It's on the tip of my tongue. What kind of a question is that?
I haven't eaten in a while.
Before-
Does anyone have a drink? And with that, I think we're going to stop for the night.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Before, I didn't think you were going to stop. I thought you were going to stop when we left the dream.
Sure.
But before you left the dream, I wanted to say, do we actually expect to get... Wow, I'm blanking. I am so sorry.
Okay.
Wow.
Archie?
So you
Yeah,
have rescued
but-
Archibald, and he goes right to the edge of where you were all sitting in the clearing, and now you can see. Okay, apparently we'll keep going. You can see MadMaggie
reason I'm
sitting there
asking-
cross-legged. Sorry, what was that?
The reason I'm asking is because I had a plot point idea right when we got here,
Okay.
and it's only relevant if Archie isn't... If we're not prepared to have Archie as a PC. And I don't know, have you been in talks, is what I'm asking?
Unfortunately, it doesn't seem likely. I figured he'd be so beat to shit. I see that. I like that.
You want to read it?
He walks right to the entrance. Sure. The retrieved essence of Archibald crystallizes into a living weapon or wondrous item. All
You
right.
could be there in the final battle.
He looks at you all, and he walks right to the edge, and he sees MadMaggie standing there and turns back, and Nigella, the little night hag, the dream hag, stops at the edge of the clearing and refuses to enter. And MadMaggie looks up, and they lock eyes. The two hags lock eyes, and there's a super intense moment. And Archibald stops. And he goes back and he starts talking with the little night hag. And after a few minutes, he comes limping forward again. Well, Fenris, trust your business isn't done here. Do me a favor. You kick that Eye of Pillow's ass for me, all right?
Or we'll both kick Zarya's ass.
Let's just say there's been things. I didn't have much of a role model growing up, if you get me. This is my chance to do better. He passes you the Sunblade that once belonged to Nishida. Takes his blade and sheathes it. Turns back and then walks back to the little night hag. He's just within the mists now, and turns back to you all and says, "You've shown us the way out. Take it. I'm gonna go with her, and I'll find my own way." I'm not gonna leave her alone. And he said that last thing directly into MadMaggie's face. And he's holding the little night hag's hand.
I'd say it's just a dream, but I mean, you're here, so what do I know?
From what I can tell, I'm in good hands. And he looks down at this the child night hag holding his hand. Well, I'll see you on the other side. Good luck
Before
to
they
you.
go, can I look at the child night hag's eyes and MadMaggie's eyes to see if they're one and the same?
Do an insight check for me.
I'd be happy to. Not very good at it, but I'll try. 19.
If you had to bet your life, you would say they're sisters.
Okay.
And Archibald and then little night hag Nigella turn around, and as they start to walk away, then little night hag stops, goes running back, and runs up to Henrietta and just reaches out and touches your metal chest plate with the emblazoned, not Eye of Pellar, but the symbol of Pellar on there, and she touches it and kind of flinches back as though it hurt, and then touches it again. There's this smoldering sound. And she looks up at you and says, "You're funny. You're funny."
You'll be all right.
Yes. We will. She turns around. She walks into the mist, and Archibald waits a second and then turns and walks with her into the mists.
Are we back with MadMaggie?
She's sitting there just stone stock still.
I just turn and look at her and go, "So, Nigella's who torments you.
You don't
And
even
yet
need it.
one of ours protects him. Her. Isn't that a irony, Maggie?
We all have our little tortures.
Archie sacrificed himself for her. More than you would have done.
They're just full of surprises.
Looks like somebody owes us one now.
And with that, you wake up sitting in a circle around MadMaggie's campfire. It's burned low. The crystal's sitting on the ground.
You got what you came for.
Yeah, let's look at it. I assume Fenris has the Sunblade.
Yep. He's got the
Do we
Sunblade.
see, does it look any different? Is there like a sign of Archie's influence in it? Or is it just the Sunblade? I'm imagining like a pommel or something that wasn't there before.
Absolutely. It's instead of a Sunblade, which was a longsword blade, it's got this basket hilt, almost woven out of, almost like gossamer
Yeah.
and
Cool.
And like crystallized dream as this basket hilt, which is a little different than the longsword now. It's now a proper rapier blade, but ending
Cool.
about a couple of inches off the hilt in this smooth cut, cold metal to touch. But Fenris, you look at it and it just goes, and this brilliant white sunlight blade extending from this rapier hilt in this, but there's an ever slight lavender tint to it around the edges.
Cool.
Turn to Darmita. I say, "This is your mother's blade," and I just and I put my hand out with it. With what we're about to go into, either you or she are gonna need it. I'm not one for melee weapons, as you can tell. I just hand it out, and it belongs to you, your family.
You actually, like, she'll just kind of look at you, and you kind of think you see a tear come, and she just turns and walks away and goes and puts it away and just goes, "I'll give it back to my mom." And she just walks away like, fuck that shit.
Cool.
And with
But
that,
she doesn't do it like rudely.
Yeah.
She's not mad at Fenris anymore.
she angrily comes back and gives him an angry hug. Just kidding.
Compared to like the last few months,
Even the
where
last
she's
time you were at
been
MadMaggie's.
she's been very snappy and very nasty with him, and he actually sees a little bit of how she was before we came to hell. Like, for a slight minute.
Benkuhm looks over at Henrietta and is like, "What just happened?"
Well, let's go find out.
And with that, we'll find out what happens next on these, the dusty plains of Avernus. Okay, wow.
The third time trying to end.
No, every time I want to just keep going. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for playing, guys. That was a lot of fun. I could just keep going and going. You have a question for me before I leave? Absolutely, good night. And thanks very much for everybody chiming in. Good to see you there, Bates. Good night, Yaofen, everybody else who's jumping in, and everybody else who's listening after the fact. We're very happy to share our stories with you and have your input. So yeah, first, before we bail, we do need a title for tonight's episode. We kind of got a lot. We got 2 characters back, sort of.
Sort of.
Definitely wrapping up all the loose threads.
Oh,
So if anybody has any suggestions for tonight's episode title, getting the band back together. You said that
I mean,
a
I
couple
feel like
times.
that's
I like that.
appropriate. It's
I
appropriate.
feel like it's appropriate.
Yep. All right. I would back that play 100%. Big shout out, by the way, to I think this week's listenerships were California was big. So if you're in California, thanks very much for tuning in. If you're not in California, why aren't you in California? I mean, if you had a choice. But no, seriously, very, very much enjoying sharing our story with everybody live, but also after the fact, and definitely appreciating all the input from the live viewers and you guys. You guys make this story. You know, this whole story happened because I was like, how can a shadow sorcerer and a bard paladin be in the same party? Well, and maybe it's a prisoner thing. And ever since
The
then,
answer was they can't.
one thing I will say is MadMaggie's gleeful evil. It got real cold, and she's not mad at you, but she's happy to see
But
you go.
She is Maggie.
Yeah, she's Maggie at you. All right, so
I still think she owes us something for that.
Oh,
She wanted that.
by the way, she's like, "Where's my infernal machine?" I was gonna do that and have you guys have to like
Yeah, it's
whisper
from her.
there,
It's ours
but
now. We
we'll
traded
figure
it.
that later.
I think we rented it.
Yeah, we'll do it later.
Yeah.
What, that was
So
a
I-
rental? Oh, we did
Oh.
not get the insurance.
Whoops.
Yeets. You're insured against jackalakes, right? What?
Totally.
All right, thanks very much,
Hi.
everybody. We're going to be back here next week, working towards the big finale. So see you next week, and if I feel like we should go raid Critical Role right now. What do you think? They need
I don't
our
know.
people, right? Our people
Oh,
can be
yeah,
their
with
people.
their 95.2K, they totally need us.
Yes. Okay. Well, little known group. We're gonna go. No, but thanks very much for playing, everybody. Stick around for the credits because that's where all the music credits are. I know Kudinai loves the tunes. Maybe not these tunes, but just tunes in general. So stick around and get those credits and give credit where credit is due. We are SideQuest Live, and we are gonna get the hell out of hell soon enough. See you soon.
Good night.
SideQuest Live. Thanks so much for tuning in. We try to record all of our games as much as possible, whether that's Dungeons & Dragons or Shadowrun or another tabletop role-playing game. Just a quick side note about all the licenses and copyrights involved. Our music is all Creative Commons attribution music on our live stream video feed or YouTube replay or Twitch VOD. We always attribute each individual artist, so be sure to check out those individual artist attributions. Lots of love to so many people who make their work available so that we can do what we do. So thank you. It influences our game. It makes it immeasurably better. So much appreciation for them. Let's not forget the makers of the game. Dungeons & Dragons is copywritten by Wizards of the Coast. They own it. They make it available to all of us to play, and it's wonderful. We are in no way affiliated with them, and nor do they endorse this podcast, but we are very appreciative. The other game we often play is Shadowrun, which is Catalyst Games. And again, we are not affiliated with them and they do not endorse us, but we really appreciate their game and we hope you appreciate our game. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Twitch and YouTube and watch for those live games once we're streaming them out. And of course, we do accept suggestions for names, so please hit us up on Instagram and name our stuff. All right, thanks so much. I'm Todd, and this has been SideQuest Live. We'll see you again soon.